Guys, I want to talk to you
Guys.
about our 8 out of 10 games.
Not 8 out of 10 cats.
Not 8 out of 10 cats, 8 out of 10 games. Are we too harsh as a society on 8 out of 10 games?
Are you on about the 360 era again?
No, I'm on about current generation. So Avowed's just come out.
Yeah.
And I've not played
out of
Avowed.
10.
And it's landed on about 80 something out of 10.
Okay.
And I'm hearing a lot of people saying, like, that's bad.
I always thought 80 or 8 out of 10
I see it as a good thing, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but you say that, but 7 out of 10 is mediocre.
But it's not.
Because people are afraid to go below 5.
I know. And
That's
Make
true.
it a 10 scale. Make it a 5 scale, and it's a 4 out of 5. That's great. That sounds amazing.
I didn't want to bring up the 7 out of 10 thing, because I know Ben's very...
It's all lies and you know it.
But the 8 out of 10 thing was just something that came to mind recently because of Avowed. And a lot of people are sort of like kind of slagging that off. And I'm looking at it thinking, 8 out of 10's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought 8 out of 10 was
Final Fantasy 16 was 8 and a bit out of 10. And people slag that off.
Well, when I do my mini reviews on the Backlog website, yeah, it's more out of 5 stars. I suppose it is kind of out of 10 because you can do that half stars. So
yeah,
anything to me,
that is 4 out of 5.
Anything above 3.5 stars out of 5, which is 7 out of 10,
yeah,
I would say is good.
Yeah, I would. I'd say if it's an 8, it's a good game. You can have a good time with it.
And then 8's like, I really enjoyed this.
Yeah,
but it's not one of my favorites.
Yeah, 7, it could be good. It's to the eye of the beholder. 9 is it's a very good game, but it might not be for you. And 10 out of 10 is
10 out of 10 fade for the masterpiece.
Give 9 out of 10 for a good game, but it might not be for you. I'd give that to 8 or 7.
I'd give that to 8 as well.
True. Yeah. I think 9
out of 10 is like amazing. I think 10 out of 10
needs
saved.
a final push. Or
yeah, 10 out of 10 are saved for like your favourites.
Yeah, true. I think there's a certain like Riz that makes a game 10 out of 10 instead of 9
bring it to the Gen Zers.
Yeah, it's a matter of a Riz.
I get what you mean.
Like it might not be the best game, or it might not be functionally, Outer Wilds, for example, 10 out of 10 game, yeah, but it doesn't perform very well or anything. You know? By all intents and purposes, that should make it a 9, but it's got so much Riz.
I gave it a 9.
It's got that spark.
You gave it a what?
Gave it a 9.
What?
I said,
oh.
Yes.
5 out of 7, too much space.
Get out.
Too many flying into the suns.
I think we've talked about 8 out of 10 games. We keep wanting to say out of 10 cats, Joe. Thanks. I think we've talked about that enough. So I suppose we best introduce us. So we are Gaming Garnish, fortnightly podcast. If you're here, thank you. Enjoy. I'm joined by Jake.
Hello.
Ben.
Hello.
Joe.
Hello.
And I'll be your host today. I'm Brad. So let's get into it. Shall we talk? What have we been playing?
Indeed.
I've not heard from you much today, Ben. You kept quiet on the 8 out of 10 games.
8 out of 10 pens.
I bought myself a Steam Deck.
Very nice. I saw you post that picture in our WhatsApp, and
I think I know what game you've been playing on that.
I have been playing Factorio.
On the go.
Factorio Go. I want to hear about the Steam Deck.
Yeah, definitely.
So far, absolutely loving it.
Nice. Did you go for the original or the OLED?
The original.
Nice. Okay.
And I got the sort of 500 gig storage. It's really good because it keeps the game in a frozen state. So for the likes of Factorio, just keeps it in a frozen state, and I can just literally pick it up and carry on any time without any loading.
Without the game.
That's handy, because the thing is with PC, as far as I'm aware, I've not played PC for a long time. You are closing your game every time.
Yeah.
So you can't just bring something. Yeah. Granted, you can load it super quick these days, but you can't just pick up where you left off immediately.
You still have to go through the menu motions every time.
Yeah, and maybe go back to a checkpoint, something like that.
I suppose it's the same for the Switch as well. Never really thought about it, but you literally just put that to sleep, don't you?
Yeah. Unless I assume if you start a new game, it'll close it. Like a different game, it'll close.
Actually, it'll just run a few games, but they start messing about.
Oh, so it's more like quick resume then on Xbox.
It's okay. I think so. I don't know. It's all pretty, so you know, it
how
hides
are you
the fact it's
finding
doing things.
Yeah, how are you finding battery life, the size of it? I want to
so
know all
far-
your thoughts.
So far, battery life hasn't really been an issue. It seems to manage what I'm doing. I think I've done about maybe 3 to 4 hour block stints on it, something like that.
And the beautiful thing is you don't have to wait for the controllers to recharge.
So I was going to say, a games console, you play for 3 or 5 hours or whatever, and the battery life's fine, but a controller, you can't just plug in.
When it makes sense.
Can of worms.
It's a different thing, Brad. It's a different thing.
Yeah,
It's not got a screen on it, has it?
True.
And with a Switch, you have both problems.
It feels nice. It feels like the controls are in the correct places for adult hands, which has always been a thing for the Switch for me.
What are these square pads? I've always wondered. Is that like for mouse control?
Pads. Yeah, trackpad.
Oh,
apparently they're really good. I think the idea of them sounds horrible. I can't imagine anything worse than playing a game with a trackpad. But apparently the implementation's really good.
Oh, you say that, but I was
well.
always really interested in the Steam controller that they did, where instead of a right stick, it had like a circular trackpad.
Yeah, and that's where it came from.
Indents.
But
I thought that's a really cool idea for like shooters.
I thought it sounded like an awful idea.
Really?
Because all I can imagine is like playing a shooter on a laptop with the trackpad.
But you're using your thumb, not your finger.
I suppose
so much degree of accuracy.
Yeah, but I could use my thumb for the trackpad and it wouldn't
hold
make
your laptop
any
sideways
better.
like a book.
Well, it has two, so
Yeah.
I am shocking with my left hand. I cannot use a trackpad with my left hand, but with my right hand, my right thumb, I'm quite good, quite accurate with it. I go straight to what I need when I need it. They also seem to work a bit like a digital up, down, left, and right.
Okay.
Sort of tilt.
Yeah. Cool.
It has a digital up, down, left, and right as well.
Game dependent.
It has a couple of extra buttons underneath for 2 fingers, sort of your middle finger and your
like macros.
Yeah, this kind of thing. So far, really loving it. And you know the whole thing I was worried about. I'll just do what I did with my Switch and shove it in a drawer.
Yes,
I don't see that happening with it so far.
Good,
because with the Switch,
it was only like a month ago you said that.
Yeah.
So you come around quick.
I just decide to do things. That's my problem. I just go, you know what? I'm just going to do it.
Why not?
Is it because you've got such a wider access to games than with a Switch, which is just Nintendo only?
That is one of the big things. Steam is amazing.
Yeah.
Steam is great.
Have you put PC Game Pass on it yet?
I haven't. So this was one of the things I wasn't aware of. It has its own operating system.
Yeah.
You can install Windows to make it run Game Pass PC.
But it's a backdoor solution to it.
And same with, you can sort of install the streaming app, so the Game Cloud. But you got to trick it into believing it's a Steam game, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it does work.
There is ways. It's just a bit convoluted, isn't it? That's the benefit of something like the ROG Ally or something. But on the flip side of that, Steam OS is apparently really good and well optimized for games. So,
no complaints.
I think I would
so
still
far.
go for a Steam Deck for that reason.
Apparently, you can do it with the PlayStation. Make it like a PlayStation Portal as well. The link to your PlayStation thing. You can do it.
Oh, really?
Too. Yeah, but apparently it's a bit more complicated to set up.
To be fair, it's just not as good at streaming. They're just not quite there. I mean, Xbox are definitely better at cloud streaming.
Well, they've got the whole Azure system, don't they?
Yeah.
So far, going really good. I've bought a few older games to play on, actually, because for the few quid it cost me, I think I got Resident Evil 5, 6, because I haven't played those 2 very much recently. So I seem to stop at 4 for some reason. So I bought 5 and 6.
Probably for the best
one.
I like 5. I enjoyed 5.
Yeah.
Can you remove
6 was
piss
awful.
filter?
Sorry?
In the mods on Resident Evil 5, can you remove like the greeny brown filter?
Oh God, no. That's part of it.
No.
Also, you can't remove Sheva either, which is also annoying bit. She's still as good as ever and gets in your way and shoots the back of your head constantly.
Takes all your healing items.
You have actually you've played other games in Factorio.
Yeah, I've played a couple of other things.
I think that's the biggest revelation.
Yes.
I also played, I've got Devil May Cry HD, the 3-pack.
Oh, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. So, because it's been a lot of years since I played them, and I can't remember whether I played all of them or not. So I thought that's another one they could pick up and put down, chapter-based.
Yeah.
So quite like the idea of it. Also, I could just leave it running. So,
and it's because it's older, it's not taking up much power off for your other games either.
Not a lot of space either, so it's fun.
That's the thing. I think the more advanced the game, the more battery it'll drain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Factorio, for example, probably gets you 10 hours of battery life. But
yeah, it's just you can run it on a brick, can't you? So it's
Crisis, maybe not.
It'd be the new Doom. Can you run Factorio on this calculator?
The
equations are all there.
It is cool for that, as you were saying before. Like, I suppose the Switch is held back by just Nintendo stuff, or the small pool of third parties that are on it. But with the Steam Deck, you've got access to nearly every game, almost.
Yeah, it's really good, and again, it's reasonably priced for a lot of things too, which is half the battle.
Because, even the highest, like the very highest, the new model, the biggest size, like hard drive space, I think it's like £650.
Is that a terabyte you get on that?
I think might be 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is it? I can't remember if it's 256, 500 and a gig, or 500 a gig. 500 a terabyte and 2 terabytes. I can't remember. But either way, the biggest one, the best one, is like 650, which I really don't think is bad.
For what it
is. No,
it's a gaming PC.
Yeah, the lowest of the lowest is about 300, I think.
That's really good,
Ben.
I bought mine second hand for 300, but I got the 500 gig.
The bigger one. Yeah.
That's about what you get a Switch for now with games.
Yeah,
true,
exactly.
True, nice. And you can buy all sorts of silly little 10p games and
Humble Bundle.
Yourself.
That's what you want. Humble Bundle. You get loads of games from them.
Yeah,
and money goes to charity. So
and think of all the simulators you can take with you now.
Oh no,
there's so many. It's floodgates.
I was just gonna. As soon as you went to PC, like you've just opened the floodgates.
He's going to be playing Steam Deck Player Simulator. It's like I'm actually playing a Steam Deck.
Tell you what I did discover on Factorio's Discovery of the Week: the shotgun cuts trees down.
Oh, that's
amazing.
I mean, that's right up my alley, innit? Come on.
If only every game could do that.
That's about me, though. Loving it. Actually playing it right now. Don't laugh at me.
What, while we're recording? Wow. Yeah. He showed us. He is.
It's official. He's not faking it.
Well, while Ben tends to his factory, Joe, what have you been playing?
Speaking of Nintendo Switch, I gave the Nintendo Switch online subscriptions a go.
Oh,
you know, where you get like the N64 and the SNES and the Game Boy Color stuff. Telling you now, guys, it's all rose tinted glasses, all of it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the thing that's making it run quite bad is the emulator that they use.
I've heard this. I've heard like
I tried playing the original. It might have been Star Fox 2, which is a SNES title, and it's so slow. Considering it's just triangles, like the input direction is so slow. I couldn't hit anything. I couldn't even get out of the way of stuff in time. I would have to have an adjustment period of like 3 hours to get my timings down of button presses. I was like, I could only play 10 minutes of it before I was like, this is diabolical.
It'd be interesting going back to the actual original then.
Well, because that's all hardware. It's like lightning fast button presses as fast as electricity can go. There's no processing.
Is it just because there's been loads of time now and you're like, maybe that's what it always was like?
Possibly.
No, because we went to that gaming convention and it was as fast as you could press the button. It wasn't.
Did you try that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
I
tried playing Donkey Kong as well, and that was hard. not just because it's on an emulator, but because it's a hard game.
It is a hard game. I've heard. Yeah.
Especially on the level with the mine carts, you've got to get your jumps just right on that, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't get past that level on the subscription emulator.
So it's weird you should bring that up, Joe, because I've had a very, very similar conversation with one of my friends. He has the miniature NES.
The NES Mini thing.
Yeah.
So we were playing Mario 3, as I'm sure listeners have heard. We were talking about doing it, blah, blah, blah. It's not the same. It doesn't. Now, I played Mario 3, and when I do a jump, say, I will aim the character backwards. So if I'm jumping forwards, I'll aim him backwards to control the jump and land where I want it to be. It doesn't do it.
It doesn't have the response time, does it?
No, it just doesn't do it. It doesn't turn back on itself. You have to make the jump correct. And while we were at the show, I tested it on a couple of them. I just went and loaded Mario 3 on them to see if it was just the one he had. And it doesn't work. You can't. So I can't play the game. I'm awful at it.
Not only that, hardware. Did you try any of that at the place?
The original one.
Yeah,
I've got the original.
Oh, but you can do it on your own one, can't you?
Yeah, I could do it on my own. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's I still haven't completed Mario 3. It was released in 80s.
Yeah. So sometimes it's hard, I think, when you're playing something, you're like, it just feels off, and maybe people watching it, you won't.
You just think this guy's terrible.
Yeah, but you just
creates a lag
wrong.
and all sorts.
Yeah,
it's just not right. I can't even explain it, but I did. That was the big notice. That it just doesn't turn back as you jump. Yeah. Sorry for ranting on about that there, because it's a raw nerve.
I think it's frustrating that there's people who have emulated these games better.
I was just going to say that, like, all credit to these people who are spending the time, not getting any money out of it, emulating these games in a really good way,
only for them to be shut down by Nintendo.
Who then does a worse job.
Why not?
Well, the thing is, the Dolphin emulator I've got on my phone was running better than stuff that was on Nintendo hardware.
Wow.
Crazy.
Well, and that's for GameCube, and you can play Game Boy games on it as well, and they run buttery smooth.
It's so frustrating.
Really
it is.
It really, really is.
But on a brighter note, I got to the end of Halo Reach with Jake and Jamie and Dave.
Nice.
When was that? Thursday night? Friday night?
Friday night.
That came around a lot quicker than you were expecting.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, we just found some time, basically.
Wow. Yeah. I thought you were on about doing it on the Saturday. I'm like, yeah, I'm there for Saturday. And I was making a curry at the time. He was like, are you logging in? I'm like, what? What do you mean right now?
Right now.
Because I was reading the text from the day before.
Yeah.
I was like, right, this curry's got to wait. We've got to get on Reach. So I left it to simmer and got Courtney to keep an eye on it, and then turned the heat off when it was done. And we got through it so quick. I mean, I know we only were doing half the campaign.
Yeah.
Because you did the other half beforehand, but you forget how short it is.
Well, we did.
We
were about halfway. About halfway, and I think we did it in 2 and a bit hours.
That's not bad, is it?
So, yeah, just like Halo 3, maybe 4.5 hours.
I wish more games were that long.
Yeah, me too.
But it doesn't feel like that. It feels longer. At least I remember it being longer.
Yeah, but there's a lot more replayability, I find.
Yeah.
Especially in Reach when you could unlock all your armor and stuff.
Yeah, and obviously you got your skulls. I used to play games on the hardest difficulty back then because I could.
Well,
time to try again.
Yeah, it wasn't as much as a time investment.
Yeah. Crazy. But you enjoyed it. How far did you get on the final waves?
Joe was alive the longest. I
only had a Spartan laser as well.
I was doing fine, and then just out of nowhere, I had a sniper, and then I turned around, there were 6 elites.
Jeez.
And they all just threw grenades at me. I was like,
the fog of war definitely covers up some spawn points there.
It does. It does. But it's really fun.
It's such a cool ending to a game.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Definitely. I want to know how long the longest survival time is. Like, who's done the longest?
I wonder if it does just force you out at some point.
Well, Joe, you didn't die, did you?
No. See, it only took to deplete my shields to kill me. Like, I still had full health, but I had 2 cracks on my screen, like in the helmet. But I didn't run out of health and die. So you must have to not get hit for it to work.
Yeah. Well, even that's a cool visual, like the cracks in the screen.
Oh yeah, I wish they were present in the actual gameplay because it even distorted in the glass, like what you were seeing.
Yeah, they could fade, like when you get your shields back.
Yeah, like wearing gears, your screen goes all bloody.
Yeah,
and that fades away.
Yeah. It would be cool, that, to be fair. Because in Halo Reach as well, you have to find health packs. Yeah. Because after your shields go down, you have health.
That was brought in from ODST, wasn't it? Because you had health again in that.
Yeah, but I think it's in the original Halo 2.
It's in Halo, but it's not in Halo 2 and 3.
Yes.
But it's back in ODST and Reach.
I like that as a visual. It's like when you get jam thrown in your face on Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah.
The thick
strawberry
jam.
or raspberry.
Very nice.
Seedless.
But other than that, after we finished that, I finished the Castlevania Nocturne series.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Too.
Well, don't give me spoilers.
You finished it ages ago, didn't you, Brad?
Not season 2. It's only just come out.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think when you messaged that you'd finished it, maybe a week before, I think I finished it.
Oh, okay.
So not that long.
It was so epic at the end.
It was good. It was really good.
I need to watch it, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
I've watched
me
season
too.
1, so
Yeah,
I'll get on it soon.
it so escalates. It so escalates.
I think Ben needs to watch the whole thing.
I did
Yes.
make a start at some
From the
point,
OG.
but I started drifting and Chainsaw Man took over and random things, so I was...
Oh.
You've got to get on that. You've got to get on Castlevania.
It is-
Season or series 1, should I say, is better.
Definitely.
Nocturne.
Well,
but-
so far. We
So
don't know what
far.
season 3 is going to bring.
Well, yeah, 100%. If they do a season 3, hopefully they do.
I think they will.
But I'd like to see
The
other
creators have
characters.
actually been all over social media saying, if you like Castlevania, please tell Netflix about it.
Yes, I've
We
seen
want
that.
to get renewed for season 3.
Yeah, and please watch it as well.
Yeah, please watch it all the way through every episode. Don't just quit out halfway.
It's interesting because I haven't seen it. I was looking for something to watch the other day on Netflix, and I completely forgot that it was out. But I didn't see it anywhere.
I'm finding that with a few shows these days. Invincible season 3's out.
Yeah, it is.
They're
Yeah.
promoting Spy
forgetting
Family
about
season
it.
2 at the minute over any other anime stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's
that's
there.
me.
It's just you have to
Looking for
find
something to watch, Jake. Dan, I keep telling you.
Well, they did just start the new Demon Slayer season. Sorry.
it. Nice.
So I'm on that now.
We're a gaming podcast. That anime convention
It's
went
turned
to,
us.
it's turning us.
No, Castlevania's a game.
Jake, what have you been playing?
Well, I actually watched an anime with my wife the other day called Vampire Hunter D, and it was very good. But anyway, games. So I teased it last time. I have been playing Dragonball Sparking Zero.
Cool. Tell us about it.
Which sounds like a fizzy drink.
Zero sugar.
It does.
Sorry, that's sparkling zero.
So it's really good. It's like classic Tenkaichi. I think I said that right.
Budokai
Sorry, guys.
Tenkaichi.
Yeah, like 3D Dragon Ball battle system.
They all look the same.
No, they don't.
They all look the same.
So
They
They
do.
all look
I
the same
agree.
since PlayStation 2.
there hasn't been a game like this since PlayStation 2.
Okay.
So all the ones that have come out since, I think Raging Blast got the closest. Raging
They've
Blast
been
1 and
3D
2.
movement, haven't they?
Yeah, but this kind of takes it back to that with new mechanics too. But you know, the combat it's very hard to get into at first. It took me a few, like going through the tutorials, being like, what can I actually do? Because there's too much.
Watching people play it looks ace, but I know when I've played those type of games before, I just can't do anything.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
Fighter Z was that for me. I could not
Yeah.
make it look as good as the other people made it
The,
look.
the last
Very
Dragon Ball game I played and enjoyed was on PlayStation 1.
Yeah,
It was like side-scrolling fighting. It
that
was
apparently was.
great.
I know which one you mean, and I think that was like one of the worst ones ever
No.
made, according to.
It is fantastic.
So yeah, the combat is hard to get to grips with, but once you like get it, it almost like unlocks,
It clicks.
and you just know how to play it.
You get your Elder
Um,
Kai unlock potential.
Definitely. However, every character basically ultimately plays the same, tiny bit different. They've all got their own special moves. So like obviously, Goku's got the Kamehameha and the Spirit Bomb and stuff like that, and not everybody has that. And then they all have like slight abilities, but the standard combos are all the same. Everybody plays the same in that regard. It's just the like special abilities,
What about like health
That change.
and damage and
all the same.
really?
Yeah,
That's kind of
Pretty much.
I
Some of
get
them
it.
feel a bit quicker.
yeah.
But I feel like if they did change it, it just wouldn't be fair. You wouldn't be able to play as like Yamcha, let's say.
Well, I feel like they would have to spend a lot more time balancing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with the Smash characters.
Yeah, so I can understand it, but it's still a little bit disappointing in it. Basically, everyone's a skin.
Kind
No,
of.
but it's the same in Tekken. There's not one person who has more health in Tekken.
There's combos, I suppose.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is. People
thought they
do
all had the
more
same amount of
damage and probably
I don't know. I
not the
like-
same health bar, but I think
Yeah.
I imagine they take less or do more damage depending on the character. Because a slow character is going to deal more damage if they land the blow.
I suppose.
So it's just all about
Maybe it
balancing,
does,
I think.
and I just haven't noticed. That's
Yeah.
the other thing as well. 'Cause you
True.
You can transform mid-fight. You can fuse mid-fight, which I think heals you a bit if you fuse mid-fight, because you're essentially using two of your fighters. Because you can do like 5 on 5
Yeah.
fights.
Can Android 16 go full Oppenheimer and detonate his own core?
I think he can. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he can.
Because you get
that's
2
his
fighters,
ultimate.
don't you, to swap between in the fight, or is it 3?
5.
You can get up to 5.
5. Wow.
Yeah, if you want to. So it is pretty cool. I think if you play online, it's usually free, but you can like change the set. There's a lot of like options that you can change for fights.
Have you played online?
No. Oh no.
Yeah, not.
Don't embarrass yourself that much.
Yeah.
International service.
The only person I thought was my friend Harry. So shout out to him. He did message me way before I bought it. He was like, I bet when you get the game, you're going to kick my ass. Like as soon as you get it. And he did beat me first time. But then I got into the flow and
destroyed him.
Yeah, we only had 3 battles.
You didn't choke.
Yeah, I didn't choke. We only had 3 battles. I won 2 and he won 1.
Yeah.
So, but there's, as alluded to there's so many characters through all of Dragon Ball, canon, non-canon. I don't know. The only people I feel like they've missed is people from the original Dragon Ball. I don't think they've missed anyone in like Z.
Is GT in there?
GT's in there. Not everyone in GT's in there. And then Super as well. There's not everyone in Super in there. But
can you be the Uzarus?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
I think you read most of the Uzarus actually. Even like Baby Vegeta, Golden Uzaru. So that's cool. And you can transform into the mid fight. It does feel a bit janky to fight them though because they're massive. And you're just like punching them wherever you can. In fact, I mean, it's notoriously online. In the story mode, the Vegeta Ozaru fight is ridiculously hard. Just right at the start of the story mode. I
found it was in that Xenoverse 2 game, actually. That fight with him and Nappa was really hard at the first time.
Do you know what? I don't think I played the second one, but I played the first one. Xenoverse.
You probably still have to do the same mission. It's in every bloody game.
Yeah, oh yeah. You go through
Saiyan Saga's in every game.
I've played through the Dragon Ball storyline so many times. It's unbelievable.
It's like hearing Batman's origin all over again.
Yeah, and to be fair, speaking of that, there obviously is a story mode. You go through all of Dragon Ball Z, and you even go through all of Super too this time.
Wow.
Which is cool. There's loads of fights. I don't really like how they've done the story mode. And I see what they've tried to do. They've tried to mix things up because they know everybody's played it so many times. They want to do things differently. So how it starts, I think you only have Goku at first. So you click Goku and you do all of Goku's fights throughout the story.
Right, from the beginning to the end?
Yes.
Oh.
And then it skips over the other people's fights. So if
and then
he's
you
not...
unlock them and then you have to do that all over again.
Basically.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not like... I think you unlock Vegeta pretty early on, so you could quit out and then be Vegeta.
Yeah,
if you wanted to.
So you could play it chronologically if you wanted.
You could, but it would take the loading screens would annoy the hell out of me. If you had to back out and then click Vegeta, and then he has to go into his, and then
it would just
Starfield all over again.
Yeah, I'd just be like, oh my god. So I don't like the way they've done that specifically. I feel like it's just best to play through somebody's all the way through, and then go and pick somebody else. But then it starts to get, at that point, you're starting to get a bit fatigued.
It's like, I've heard these story beats half an hour ago.
Yeah. And then like a lot of it's like told in text. Some of it's played out and some of it's in text. Some of it's like quickly brushed over because you're not supposed to be part of that fight. So it just feels a bit like...
janky.
It's like, I wouldn't say janky, just like loose. I don't know.
Disconnected.
Yeah. It just feels wrong.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel right.
But for that kind of game, the story mode isn't the focus, is it? It's more about the versus mode.
Yeah, definitely. And you can do tournaments. So you can do, there's loads of different tournaments you can do. I can just see it, like, I really like the combat, but I can just see it getting a bit boring though. If you weren't like striving to fight people online.
Yeah. Especially if every character kind of plays the same.
Yeah, it's not like there's unique combos for your heavy and light attacks and stuff, like in Tekken or Street Fighter and all them.
But there is a lot.
That is my big problem with them kind of games. It's I can't justify the money on it because I know I'll burn out in 10 hours. You know, it'll be done.
And this has that problem. I think I played it for 17 hours and I do feel burnt out on it now.
I really like Mortal Kombat, but
Yeah.
I've not bought one in so long because, well, if I have, I've not bought one full price in so long for that exact reason, Ben.
Yeah.
I play the story and then I'm not going online because I'm going to get destroyed.
Yes, just don't want to embarrass myself.
Yeah. Once I've done the story, I'm pretty
maybe do a few towers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the same with this, to be fair. There are lots of modes outside of it. There's the tournaments, there's just normal fights. And there's a lot of attention to detail. So let's say you pick the Ginyu Force as your 5 characters, they all speak to each other before the fight.
That's cool
interactions. And then they all sometimes have interactions. Like obviously when you start, they talk to each other and they have interactions based on like the show, and even some moves end up changing if you're fighting with specific people. So like if Goku's fighting Frieza, he might say a specific thing when he Kamehamehas or something.
Oh, can you do that father-son Kamehameha if you pick Gohan and Goku?
I think so. I don't think I've done it personally, but I'm pretty certain you can do it as like one of like Teen Gohan's special move.
Oh, okay.
Let's say. Like his ultimate. So there's a lot of attention to detail there in the interactions. To bring it back to the story mode, there are what ifs as well, which is pretty cool. Some of them are better than others. Some of them just feel a bit like
shoehorned in.
Yeah, you're like, doesn't make any sense.
Is there anything unlocked by doing them? Like you can only get a specific character if you do that mission, or
you kind of almost constantly unlocking characters. You can sometimes unlock costumes, and you kind of unlock Dragon Balls sometimes to like wish for stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then outfits as well. But it's more just to see them through. But some of them are right pain in the arse to unlock. Not gonna lie. So, and this is probably my biggest gripe. So, Raditz at the start, you're not supposed to beat him in the story as Goku. So, first off, you get an option to fight him with Piccolo. Piccolo doesn't even help you, really. You're still fighting him as Goku. You don't get to change.
Even if you do pick the alternate option.
Or you can pick not to fight with Piccolo, and Piccolo shows up anyway.
The illusion of choice.
Yeah, but Krillin comes with you instead in this one. But then that kind of like splits off. It's so the story mode kind of sets you on a path, and it shows you where it splits off.
Yeah.
Oh, like the old Shadow the Hedgehog game.
Yeah, kind of. And then so that splits off, depending on that choice. And then there's 2 alternate universes of you fighting Raditz, let's say. And different dialogue will happen. You're supposed to not lose. You're supposed to survive the fight, but not beat him. And there's an invisible timer in the background for how long you're supposed to survive. So if that goes ahead normally, the timelines converge back, and it goes back to the normal storyline. To get the what if, and there's 2 what ifs here for some reason, you have to beat Raditz in the time slot. Now the time slot isn't there. It doesn't tell you how long you need to beat him, how fast you need to beat him. There's no timer on the screen anywhere. So you have no idea.
Whoa, how frustration.
Yeah. And obviously he's
the
like...
The only way to know is to Google it then.
Well, the only way to know is to get to the end.
I tried to Google it and nobody seems to know. They're just like, I think it's 2 minutes.
Yeah. If you get to the end and you...
Does it change every time?
Yeah.
You have to go through a cut.
And obviously he's on like super hard because you're not supposed to beat him. But you can beat him. And I did unlock both these what ifs. Now, again, there's 2 different what ifs for if you beat Raditz, depending on if you have Piccolo with you or not. Making 2 completely different stories. Doesn't make sense to me, but hey ho. But they are so frustrating because if you get to the end of the fight, it'll just stop randomly and then continue with the normal story. But it doesn't like let you press start and then retry the mission. You have to back out of the next bit of the story, then load back in as Goku, then find it on the path again, click that again.
So if there was a timer,
it reload.
If there's a timer, you'd get to like 5 seconds left.
And go, I'm not beating him,
restart.
Retry. Yeah. But there's none of that.
Yeah, frustrating.
And there's loads of them like that. So I've unlocked a few of them, but my God. And some of them are really cool. There's one with Future Trunks where he gets to participate in the tournament of Power in Super. And that's cool. Again, the story's a bit weird.
So what, does he time travel to the Tournament of Power?
Well, it's in Super, he shows up for the Goku Black arc. And then at the end of that arc, you get like a choice. And then if you pick the right choice and then do a fight and then beat these people in another time slot in this fight, you get to continue.
You should have called this Dragon Ball Convolution.
And that was solid. I was basically getting to the point where I was like listening to what they were saying, and I was like, right, because they talk to each other while you're fighting. So I was like, right, Vegeta's just said that. I've missed my opportunity. I need to restart.
Oh.
I'm too far away. It basically got to the point where all I would do is charge up to get my ultimate, and then just use my ultimate, charge up again, get my ultimate, use my ultimate, which isn't.
That's not fun gameplay.
Fun. Yeah, it isn't fun.
And they can still dodge it and teleport behind you if you miss.
Yeah. So, quickly as well, I just want to mention that the UI is bad. the main screen is basically Goku, and then you go between different screens, and Goku flies or teleports to the next bit, and there's loads of Dragon Ball characters there.
I remember that from the convention we went to. Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks cool because all the characters there and they're all speaking to each other, but
it takes the animation every time.
Yeah, and it takes time to do it, and it just feels weird.
Nothing will ever beat the UI of Grid.
It's form over function, isn't it?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But overall, to sum it up, I've probably spoke about it too long. It's really fun gameplay, really fun combat system. Just the story's a bit.
It's good for a Dragon Ball Z fan. If you're a
Dragon Ball Z fan, 100% pick it up. If you're loosely interested in Dragon Ball, you're not going to like it.
Well, I'm just going to pretend I understood about half of what you said.
So
I'm probably not going to pick it up.
I enjoyed it.
It's like the Naruto one, and then there's the Demon Slayer one. Are they all like the same base template now? They just have a different.
No, because I think those are more.
I don't think so.
They I think play a bit more like something like a Tekken or something in the 2D fighters, but with 3D you can sort of move around a little bit. Whereas these are much more like you're almost over the shoulder really when you're playing.
You kind of are, yeah. You're locked onto each other, but you can fly around as you want.
Oh, okay.
At will.
I would like to see a Dragon Ball game more like a conventional fighting game.
You'll have to go back 20 years now.
Yeah. I think that could be quite cool.
Limited Fighter Z's kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's just 1-on-1.
Yeah.
And that didn't come out too long ago.
They're 3-on-3, aren't they? Like Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah, no, sorry, 1-on-1 at a time, and like it's 2D, and you can swap people in and stuff. But that's more traditional. And a lot of people prefer that to the 3D stuff. But
and the sprite art is beautiful.
Yes, it really is. But as a Dragon Ball fan, I really enjoyed Sparking Zero. It has its flaws, but the combat's great.
Is it an 8 out of 10 though?
7.5.
Oh.
So it's terrible.
It's not terrible.
Spent 20 minutes talking to us about a terrible game.
It's 7 Dragon Balls and a wish.
I think it could be an 8, but I'm more thinking 7.5.
Fine.
Yeah. So Brad.
Me, what have I been playing?
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked. So I finally finished Final Fantasy 16.
Very nice.
Cool.
And it was a very good game. Really enjoyed it. I have talked about it to death. Yeah. I don't think there's much more I can add because it's just more story stuff happened.
Good ending, story-wise?
It was. At first I was a bit unsure because it was a bit abstract what had happened. And I think the way I understood it was maybe incorrect because it leaves a lot of things kind of open, leaves it to your imagination a bit.
Yeah.
So I sort of Googled it, like seeing people's thoughts, and there's not a definitive answer, but there's a few theories. And when I looked at them, I thought, well, this theory makes more sense to me. Okay. And thinking that, I am happier about the ending, but it wasn't particularly satisfying. It's not necessarily meant to be satisfying.
Okay.
But I didn't get to the end of it and feel like satisfied. But as I say, that was the point.
Was it a similar feeling when you finished Elden Ring? Because like they're all quite nebulous, those endings. Like, they're not really, nothing specific really happens.
No, not like that, because there is loads of big things happen. And I don't want to give like any spoilers or anything, you know what I mean? So I won't. But there was just certain things I wish I could have I don't know. I don't want to go too much into it, but I enjoyed it. It just didn't give me satisfaction, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
Some games, that's a good thing. So yeah, really enjoyed it. The end dragged on a little bit too much for me because you kind of fight the final boss. You think you're going to beat the final boss, and then something happens and you don't. And then you have to find the final boss again. But it doesn't take that long. It kind of made me think, I have to do that again. But it doesn't. So it kind of feels like there was no point him getting away and then searching for him again, because it's like a half an hour segment of looking back for him. But yeah. Weird. But anyway, it's still really good. Enjoyed it. Definitely recommend playing it.
8 out of 10?
I'd say 9. There's definitely things that led down, maybe 8.5.
Praise,
9.
praise.
Really enjoyed it. Definitely not the best game ever, but I really enjoyed the story and the characters and the world and the combat. Really good. Really enjoyed it.
Cool.
So I finished that, but then I did play another game.
Oh.
Have you ever heard of Elden Ring?
Oh, yeah, we were just talking about
that. Well, it's not Elden Ring. Not Elden Ring base game anyway. It's Elden Ring
Shadow of the Erdtree.
No, Nightreign.
Nice. Oh, so you got your
So I got my hands on the what did they call it? The network test.
Yes.
Did you actually get logged in?
Well, it was really frustrating because the way the network test works, I think because they want to bloat the servers as much as they can and like really stress test them, they give you time slots to play in so that they know that people are going to flood in during those time slots. It's the same time slots across the world. So sometimes that meant the time slot was 3 a.m. in the UK. Mm-hmm. So obviously I didn't play those. But the very first one, I think it was like 2 p.m. till 3 p.m. I think they were usually 2 hours. It might have been 1 p.m. till 3 p.m. actually.
Yeah.
And I finished work at about 1. So I was like, perfect. I'm going to get home. I'm going to speed. In fact, it wasn't. I think it might have been 12 till 2. Either way, whatever the time it was, I knew I was going to get home and have an hour on it. Yeah. I thought, this is great. There was one person I know, shout out to Mike Wakefield. He was also playing it. So I texted him in advance. I was like, we're going to play. Got home, realized I got a text from him saying servers were down. So I tried to get on, and I managed to get into, like, essentially the way it works is you've still got your round table hold like Elden Ring, and that's like your waiting area where you can do training, or I think when the full game comes out, there's certain things you can customize and upgrade your characters like permanently with. There's these little rooms.
It's a roguelike, isn't it?
Yeah, essentially. So there's these little things in the game which you could unlock in the network test that can like buff your characters, give you 10% extra damage or whatever they do. Like permanently. So you can do all that in the round table hold. So I could still get into that with the servers being down. So go into the training area, but that's all I could do. I tried to get onto a game, just wouldn't work. Thankfully though, they then basically added another time slot, because they knew the servers were down.
Make up for it kind of thing.
Yeah, so I played on Saturday. I think Saturday was meant to have some really awful times, but they ended up adding another 12 till 3 time slot. So that's perfect. Great opportunity for me to play. So I jumped on. And I had a couple games by myself. A friend was available.
It doesn't matchmake then?
It does. So it's 3-player only. I think you can do it solo, but not in the network test.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because they're probably testing the network.
Yeah. So I went on by myself, but got with other people. No one was on mic. Of course. Yeah. So it was just me and randos. And I really struggled. So the way the game's laid out, for people who don't know, you go into a game, and when the full game's out, you pick basically a monster to hunt, kind of like Monster Hunter.
Whoa, no way.
Well, it's not a monster to hunt; it's a boss to like end it on.
Okay.
In the network test, there was only one, so you select that, and it drops you into a world. I could be wrong. I think in the final game, they slightly procedurally generated the worlds, like the standard areas, but you like shift them around.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So still theme it like the actual map from Elden Ring, but the way it's laid out is different.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
But in the network test, it was the same every time. So you pretty much landed in the same spot. You can do like the same things. when you get into a world, big open map, and you basically just go off and kill things. That's the aim of the game.
Right.
You kill things. You get runes from killing them. So
Yeah.
you want to go around and find mini bosses because they'll give you loads of runes. Find like hidden areas that'll have a chest to give you a better weapon or to give you more flasks or that sort of thing.
Okay, I did not think it'd be like collecting weapons and stuff as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. You find ground like any class can pick up any weapon.
Yeah, that's
The
cool.
only limitation is level. So you might pick
Mhm.
up a level 3 weapon and you need to be level 3 to use the weapon.
Okay.
So there's nothing stat based.
No, so when you get your runes, you go back to a site of grace, there's loads of them, and you just put points into your level. That's the only thing. You don't have stamina, what is it?
Endurance.
Dexterity,
mind,
strength. You don't have any of that.
vigor.
Yeah, it is just level, and that upgrades everything. I imagine every class is different, like what
You
gets
would upgrade.
buffed.
Yeah, because I didn't realize it was going to be class based as well.
Yeah.
So you pick a character.
Yeah, there was 4 classes or characters in the network test. I think there's 8 in the final game.
Cool.
Each character has their own starting weapon, obviously, a passive, a passive, an ability, and an ultimate ability.
Right.
So it's not like spells and incantations and weapons.
You still get all them with your weapons, so you can find a seal or a staff that
Do you
has
get like
spell.
Art of Wars and stuff like that?
No, because that's kind of what your skills are. So the guy I played, I can't remember what his passive was, but his stats were basically like standard,
regular
decent,
human fighter.
Yeah, decent stamina, decent health. Another guy has terrible stamina, more health, blah, blah, blah. But the guy I played as, kind of normal across the board. He had a grappling hook that if it was a weak enemy, pulled them towards you. If it's a strong enemy, pulled you towards them. And then an ultimate ability was like a big explosive cannon on his arm that you could charge, and it would like blow
Great
up
jar
bigger.
cannon.
Yeah, it'd blow up even bigger. They charged it. You can't get hit while you're using your ultimate, which is just a good tip. So you can charge it right next to a boss. And
it doesn't sound very Elden Ring. I'm not gonna lie.
So the moment-to-moment combat is, but it's just a lot faster. So you're running around everywhere. You dive into enemies. Once you're in a fight, it feels like Elden Ring. The way it plays. It
Is
really
it still
does.
they do a lot of damage to you? You don't do much damage to them.
Well, normal enemies, you do a lot of damage to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
'cause
stuff
it's
like if you
normal
run
enemies.
into like a Royal Revenant or something like that, you're still getting demolished.
Yeah, but the higher your level, the more damage you'll do. So there's some like mini bosses we were destroying very quickly because we knew they were quite easy, or we'd be high enough level.
Are they all newish monsters that you've not encountered before? Or is there a lot of carryover?
Most of them are from Elden Ring, but there's a lot from other games like Dark Souls and stuff about as well.
I've heard there's some
that's
carried
kinda
a lot
cool.
over. So that's cool.
I've heard there's some Dark Souls bosses.
Yeah. One thing that's really cool, so you can have up to 6 weapons. There's no like weight limit or anything. So you can have 6 weapons. And each
Hell
weapon
yeah.
has a passive. Some of them are really interesting. So I had one where every time you roll, thunder claps behind you.
Cool.
Big red thunder.
I want that.
But
Claps.
you have 6 weapons, but those passives apply to all your weapons.
Okay.
So you're incentivized to just pick weapons up, even if you don't use
This
them.
is what makes it like a
Because-
roguelike then.
Yeah, because you're picking up the passive from that weapon.
I see.
So you might find a bow that you don't want, but it has that passive on it.
Yeah.
So you pick it up, so you've got that passive. So that it makes you become quite powerful quite quickly, which is good.
You say there's no weight limit,
no weight limit now.
so you can't fat roll or light roll. It's all just medium roll.
Depends on the class.
Oh,
So one of the characters had fat roll, and one of the others was like really good roll.
okay.
Fast roll, yeah.
fast
Like a
roll.
thief character.
Yeah. So that matters. But in the game, there's nothing like that. No fall damage either, which is just handy to
Did you
know.
find anything with the wings? Because I saw that you can fly a little bit.
So the wings work like spirit springs.
Oh,
So
okay.
you don't need torrent to use spirit springs anymore. You can just use a spirit spring. You just jump. And then every now and then around the map, there's the bird versions that like send you flying in a direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. You can't just use it anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it might have been a weapon ability from the trailer, like
I
what
thought
the Crucible Knights can do.
There's one character who has a big attack where he flies up in the air and slams down. So maybe that's what you're thinking of.
Yeah, I think that might be what I saw.
But where he like jumps in the air and has like a celestial bird thing to glide.
Yes.
That is what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
So basically, the moment-to-moment gameplay, you're running around, really quick Elden Ring, just imagine that. And then there's a firewall, like a battle royale. And what this firewall does is it basically pushes you to a point. It does damage if you stand in it, not loads, but it does do damage, so you do want to get out of that. And it doesn't take that long for the first day, it's called, maybe 10 minutes. And it pushes you into a point. And at that point, you'll fight a boss. It'll be different every time. Again, there's only a few in the network test. I think there was 2 for each day. So you'll fight this boss, which is hard because obviously an Elden Ring boss with the 3 of you. If you beat the boss, then you complete day 1 and you move to day 2.
Right.
Day 2 is do the same thing again. Go to different areas.
In the same zone? Or is
same zone, but obviously it'll push you to a different point.
Basically just
firing.
Looting until
Basically,
it pushes you into the boss.
Yeah. Loot, kill as much as you can, level up as much as you can, and you have to do it very quick. If you die, all you lose is 1 level and your runes that you had on you. So you want to run back to get your runes, obviously.
Yeah.
You don't lose your items or anything, you keep all them. But
can you get your runes if they're beyond the fire, or is it like consumed?
Yeah, you can run out to get them. They might disappear after a while, but you can run out to get stuff. But believe it when I say, if you die, granted losing levels is a big deal, but the time you lose from dying
is
more important because it really is quick. You have to really move around and do stuff as quick as you can.
It just really doesn't sound like Elden Ring.
No, and some of that I wish was a bit slower. Like the running around maybe felt a bit janky. But it still did ultimately work.
So it does sound cool. But
it is.
Just different.
One other thing to bear in mind, if you get downed, before you die, you go into a down state. And you've got 3 pips on a wheel.
Can you be rezzed?
So you can be rezzed. So when you go down once, you got 1 pip. If you go down twice, you get 2 pips. If you go down 3 times, and above that, it's always 3 pips. But you can just keep going down, and that pip will eventually time out, and you'll die. But to res, you hit each other. It sounds really janky, but it works really well. So you have to run up to him and just hit him. And obviously, the less pips you've got, the less time it takes to revive.
The beatings will continue.
You're always being hit, even when you're down.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting mechanic. But yeah, complete day 1, you move into day 2. Continue, rinse and repeat. The next day 2's boss will be harder. I never got past day 2 because I'm not good, clearly.
How do the bosses react to fighting 3 people at once?
Just the same way they do in normal Elden Ring.
1-on-1 or at least 2-on-1.
Yeah, but in normal Elden Ring, you can summon up to 2 other people, can't you? Is it 3 other people? So it works the same as when you've got summon people. They prioritize one person.
You can do a spirit summon as well as a character summon at a boss gate.
But also most of these bosses, there was more than one. So especially the second one, it's I only got the same second boss, and it was 3 Cavalier Knight things.
Oh god!
So you've pretty much had 1 each to deal with, and it was hard.
Would you say the AI is smart?
It's just normal. What you'd expect from a front.
If one of your characters was whooping one of the Cavalier's asses, the other 2 wouldn't go and help him.
I didn't notice, but I don't know.
Okay.
I never got past day 2 though, so I don't know. Mike did. Mike actually finished a whole go, but when I went on with him, when I spoke to him, he couldn't remember whether you get a day 3 or after you beat the day 2 boss, you go to the final boss.
Okay.
The one that you pick at the beginning.
The final boss is the one you pick. So obviously, if you complete it, you get loads of rewards. If you don't complete it, you get some rewards, and those rewards are the permanent upgrades that will make you better next time.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So if you die midway through the run, you don't get to keep anything.
You don't keep anything you've looted. No, you don't keep anything you've looted either way.
The points that would upgrade you fully, you don't get anything for progress, only for winning.
No, so outside of the game, when you're in the round table, you've got this other currency. I can't remember what it's called. And then you've got these, I can't remember what they were called now, these items that you can equip to your characters that give you boosts. So that's, you don't necessarily find them in the game I've picked up this item. It's just at the end, you get a splash screen. This is everything you got.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean, say you never got to day 3. Could you still have then upgraded your character?
You can still
You
get
only do that if you win.
Yeah, no, you still get stuff. You just don't get as much.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, so if you finish
you could keep beating your head against a brick wall and still get better.
Yes, I don't know how strong those permanent upgrades are. Obviously, I've not seen that yet. I don't know whether there's like cosmetics to unlock or any other sort of expression to unlock.
More armor.
Yeah, maybe. I hope so. But there wasn't in the network test.
What if there's like different versions of the classes that you pick? So there's like, obviously there's a heavy, but then there might be like a heavy with a big club, and then a heavy with a shield and a sword.
It did almost imply you could get different weapons to start off with.
Yeah.
But
like a loadout
I
save.
don't know.
Of course, yeah, you can have any weapon.
Yeah. Whether or not you could start with like amazing weapons or whether it's like longsword, katana, spear and like generic, but I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. Now, when I played on my own, I didn't love it.
Yeah.
It didn't really click with me. I didn't really know what I was doing. People I was with didn't know what I was doing. I felt underpowered, really underpowered. And I couldn't beat the first boss, basically.
Yeah.
I didn't really enjoy it. However, on day 3, on the Sunday, I managed to get on with my friend for a couple hours, did a few runs. And with him, we pretty much consistently got to at least that second boss.
Yeah.
And it made it so much better. Even just having one person in your team that you can communicate with made a massive difference, and everything started to fall into place. It started to really understand what it was going for, why it had made the decisions that it had made to change things.
Okay.
But yeah, by the time playing it with a friend, really enjoyed it. The problem with that is there's no crossplay when the game comes out.
Really?
And I only found that out the other day because I've been trying to convince Jake to get it since. Thinking it's only £30, I think, or £35 when it comes out, so it's a cheaper game.
Yeah.
But this would be great for us to play.
But you can't
it's
do
only
2-player.
3-player. Yeah, well, yeah. So it's only 3-player, but I'm sure we can get one of you guys on. Rotate it, however we need to make it work.
No, I mean, if you two are both on, will it match make a third player?
Yes.
Yeah,
right,
you can't do it 2 people.
Because you can't do it 2 people.
Yeah. They have come out and said that they might do that though.
Yeah.
Since, but it
just seems really dumb to not allow it. Or if you have 2 people, have it as a spirit summon or something, an NPC.
I think it's just for balancing. I don't think they've had enough, clearly not had enough time to balance it for 2 people.
Yeah.
So,
but the crossplay annoyed me.
yeah.
But
I can imagine.
At the moment, I think it's good. I do think it needs to have quite a lot of progression to keep you coming back, even if it is just cosmetically.
Is the loot personal or global?
Global.
Oh, so people could just pick up your stuff that you're after.
Yeah.
Oh, that's annoying.
But it doesn't carry over through runs, you know what I mean? So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
If you've got a good team, you'll spec.
Yeah, but if say you had 2 passives that would work really well together. Like say if your sword did like lightning damage, but then you had a projectile that came out of something else.
Yeah, but you'd have to communicate that, I suppose.
Yeah, well, if you're on with randoms, they're not going to care, are they?
No, randoms are going to be difficult. Yeah. They were really difficult. I had that one that summons the big swords, what they called the
glintstone blades.
The glintstone blades. Periodically, just summon them. That was ace. Really handy.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I enjoyed it. Eventually enjoyed it, but you just need to play with people, I think is the...
Yeah. It's
I
certainly
can't imagine
really
how hard it's going to be solo. That's going to be impossible.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There'll be people who will solo it without leveling anything up and with the starting equipment. You know they will.
I am going to be very interested to see how it like releases.
Me too.
How people react to it. But
yeah. It's a FromSoft game. It'll be
because given Jake's reaction, I feel like the FromSoft crowd won't react to it as well as others might.
I think at the moment they are surprisingly enjoying it. I think a lot of people were tentative, but since the network test, I think more people have come around to the idea.
Hopefully they do another one.
Network test.
Yeah.
They might do.
Yeah, did you get an extra day because PSN went down?
No, because the PSN going down didn't affect this.
Okay.
However, the network issues, I believe, were only on PlayStation, PlayStation version. Now, I think that's because it had the biggest traffic, but still, that's what got us an extra day.
Fair dues.
Yeah, that's been me. It's been a long What You're Playing section.
It has. We've all had
Thanks,
big things.
Jake.
We've had big Steam Deck talk,
Yeah.
Dragonball Z, Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And,
We saved
and
them,
Joe.
saved
And
them for
Joe.
the same day, didn't we?
I was also here.
Joe was also there.
All right, shall we move on to the news?
But-ba-doo, it's the news.
So we don't actually have that much news, do we?
Well, we have one big news thing, but we're going to save that for our special segment, aren't
Yeah.
we?
Shall we
that's the
tease
state of
that
play.
though? Yeah.
That's the state of play, that PlayStation.
Which will be
release.
woefully out of date by the time this actually goes live. But that's just recording times for you.
Garnish standards, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely. So we'll go over some of the quick news that's been going on in the last couple of weeks. So, Marvel Rivals Layoffs.
Oh, yes, I
This
heard about
was-
these.
A very strange one. So we were actually playing Marvel Rivals while we found out about this
It's
news.
not as strange as we were first led to believe.
Yes.
Because
Yes,
when I first heard the news, it was like, this game is doing really well. Goodbye.
So
yeah.
the way it broke Twitter and Blue Sky and every other platform was one of the game's directors basically posted that, we've made a really good game and now they're getting rid of him as a game director and his whole team.
Yes.
And everyone was like, what?
Yeah.
What is NetEase doing? It's a highly successful game. How have they allowed this to happen? And it, online discourse went into a frenzy
Oh yeah.
over it. But I think over the next day, I think people started to realize what had actually happened. And
Yes.
it is true. One of the game's directors and his whole team was laid off, but it wasn't that big of a team.
Was
So
it
it
the
was
one
about
in charge of UI?
It was about
That needs
6
improving.
people.
Yeah, it was about 6 people. It was basically
goes.
the whole American development
yeah.
team.
Oh,
So NetEase are they're scaling back on game investment, I think, or something like that, and
I think they are,
multinational
yeah.
game teams.
Because they're from China, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I think they're like taking, the multinational, I think they're trying to step back from all that.
Yeah. And
So the whole
focus
massive
more.
team in China working on Marvel Rivals is still
Yeah.
ongoing, but they
So-
shut this team down, which I still think's pretty bad.
It is. It
of
is
them to
very
do.
bad. These were basically a support team who helped with like level design and other stuff. And this guy was a director, but he was obviously the director of that small team. The creative director is still there, and the whole team that's done
Yeah.
the majority of the work is still there. So it's definitely panic over, but it's still awful that anyone gets laid off when a game has been that successful.
Yeah. I hope they got paid off.
Yeah, me
No.
too.
I do
just-
wonder if this will reflect in what characters come out.
I doubt
Like,
it'll
get
make
released.
a difference.
Just in
To be
terms of
honest.
the design, because if the American team's gone, that might make the westernizing of some of the design.
So some people did
Change.
theorize that, but again, they've come out and said, no, we are actually dealing with Marvel America like on a weekly
Okay.
basis.
So it's not all going to be Stella
yeah.
Bummified.
No, no. And it kind of is at the moment anyway.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Rocket Raccoon's ass.
Yeah. And the thing's rock solid cheeks.
It's just called The Thick.
Yeah. Human Torch is pretty hot too.
So we've just been speaking about Elden Ring Nightreign. It's got a release date now,
Hey, finally.
May 30th. So that's actually a little bit sooner than I thought.
Yeah. I was
think-
thinking towards the end of the year.
That came out.
I was thinking July or something, but
I think they came out and said that once the network test date went live or the timings went live or something, they announced that. But it did kind of fly under a lot of people's radar.
yeah, I only found out about it the other day. Yeah.
Yeah.
The network thing might have just been the final piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. True. And then Xbox have come out with this new AI called MUSE. Now, Brad, you know a bit more
Generative
about this.
AI.
Yeah, than I do.
This is-
Go ahead.
This is another kind of like the Marvel Rivals thing
Yeah.
where the big news, Xbox invests in generative AI tech for gaming. And Xbox have tried to explain it and done a whole blog post on it. And it sounds awful. It sounds exactly like,
The Musk one.
the Musk one. It sounds everything that people hate, all panic stations again on the internet, what Microsoft doing. So I
Cannot
did a
wait
bit of
for
digging.
Asteroid 7 to come out.
I know. So I did a bit of digging, and what they've done, they've tested it, and the way they've tested it is feeding it like 7 years worth of content. And I think in this case, it was Bleeding Edge, the game by Ninja Theory.
Oh, that one that
Remember
did terribly.
One that did terribly, yeah. So they fed
What
this
great processed food to feed this AI.
So they fed the AI with this. What they've done, or the way they are using this generative AI tech, is if they are developing a game by hand with real life people making a game, and the creators want to know, what if I put this jump pack in this level? What is that going to look like? The generative AI takes all the information it knows about the game and basically produces video content of how they expect the game to play with the inclusion of that jump pack.
Okay.
So it's to speed up the creation for
Oh, so they then don't have to create the whole level themselves
then
to figure out it doesn't work.
And then find out it doesn't work. Exactly. Which makes a lot more sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saying AI, make game.
Yes. And it is still doing that in a sense, and then creating like video content, I suppose, from that.
But it doesn't write all the code to then go into the game.
Yes. And they're not using it to do it.
It's not creating.
No.
Like you're using it as a tool
Yes.
to get your creativity. And
that's why it only uses stuff that already exists. Again, people panicking, thinking it's only going to use stuff that already exists. How is it going to create anything interesting? It's not to create
when
anything
I first heard about it, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. It's used to help developers not waste time on ideas that might not work.
So it's a crap version of Jarvis then from Iron Man.
Yeah. Just like in the simulations.
Basically, yeah. Maybe not crap, but
it's not as quantum breaking as Jarvis, is it? So
it might not
say crap then.
But it's it's an interesting idea actually. And now I've learned about it, I'm like, actually, that's quite a good idea, probably a good thing.
Yeah, because you first hear about it. I definitely get it. You'd be like, creativity's dead.
Yeah. It should hopefully speed up game creation. There's nothing worse, and I don't work in game dev, but I work in design, engineering design. And there's a lot of times you think something's a good idea in your head, and then you try and put it to paper. You spend, a couple hours doing the 3D models and that. And then maybe there's something obvious or something less obvious, but you realize at the end that's a bad idea. Erase all that. So you've essentially wasted 2 hours or however long.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that, you can waste time by having a great idea, but then the laws of physics do not allow it to work.
Well, that's a design problem, not so much for game creation. But if I had a tool where it could tell me if it was going to be a good idea, essentially, and save me wasting my time on it, that would be great. And that's essentially what they're doing. Yeah. Just on a bigger scale, because there's a lot more people involved in making games.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
I can't believe there was 7 years of bleeding edge content.
That is true.
I think the servers were only up for 7 days, 7 weeks.
It was longer than Concord.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So going from Xbox...
Incidents without Concord is now 0.
Oh, God. Well, talking about PlayStation, here we go. So apparently, according to a recent interview with an ex-PlayStation guy.
One of the ex-bosses, I think.
Yeah. The PlayStation devs weren't forced to do live services. Now, I think they still kind of were.
Well,
based on the statement,
the way he phrased it was no CEO was going to games companies saying make a live service.
Yeah,
game
they weren't being
studios
forced to.
Yeah, they were allowed to pitch whatever they wanted.
Yeah,
he said a lot of people wanted to make a live service game. Now, whether that was because they felt it was the safe bet and they thought none of our games are going to get greenlit unless they're a live service.
I think that's
a different story. Whether that's ever outright said to them, maybe not.
I think it's more that where it's like, oh, we better pitch a live service because we know internally that they're pushing for more live service games, so we'll get greenlit if we do one.
But then also the heads of these studios probably also see the money and want those mega hits.
Yeah,
because then that brings more people to their studios, probably gets them bonuses, So although it might not have been like Herman Hulst telling them,
make this,
or back in the day, Jim Ryan saying make these live service games,
the developing environment suggested that's what would work.
Yes, but either way, though, the heads have still approved
To
those
me,
games.
it's still up to PlayStation or the Jim Ryans, the else to go.
They should have said no.
There's 12 of these in development. Do we really want these? Do we really want Blue Point to be making a God of War live service?
Yeah.
And
do we really want to be in competition with ourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's up to them to go, no, I think you should still make a single player game.
But it was interesting.
That's what you're good at.
It was interesting to hear. Now, he did also say that he got hands on with Last of Us factions.
Yes.
He said it was really good. But that's all he said. So that's really annoying.
Yeah.
But he did say he corroborated the story that Bungie basically went to them and analysed it, and what the way that conversation apparently went down was Bungie laid out the groundwork for what they would have to do to support the game, to which Naughty Dog said, I don't think we can do that.
Yeah, we want to still make
Intergalactic, basically, which we didn't know at the time, and pivoted away. Still annoys me to this day because someone else could have handled the live service.
Yeah, they could they not have released a version that wasn't live service, that was just like
a multiplayer
like
game.
This new Elden Ring game?
Yeah.
Where it's just a multiplayer game.
I think a Last of Us roguelike would really work.
Well, there is a Last of Us roguelike in...
Is there?
In Last of Us Part 2?
Yes.
In the new edition of it, the re-release.
The re-release.
Yeah, they did have a... I can't remember what they called it. But yeah, that had a roguelike version.
It did.
When Bungie went over and said, this is what you'll need to do, are they going off their own experience with Destiny, which was like a 10-year game?
Yes.
I think so. They're basically... Because a lot of work goes into keep Destiny 2.
And they did a really good job as a live service for Destiny 2. So when Sony bought them, they bought them, to get that knowledge so that they could pass it on to other studios of, this is what, these are all the mistakes we made and things we learned making Destiny 1, which we then applied to Destiny 2 and had a success. So this is what you'll have to do. This is a rough content roadmap you'll have to have, how much you'll have to churn out, on what sort of...
how frequently you'll need your
frame.
expansions.
Exactly. And that's what Naughty Dog didn't want to commit to, so pivoted away. But
I think unless you're an independent studio, you're not going to get one of them 10-year games again now. I don't think there'll be a Destiny 3 that lasts as long as Destiny 2 did.
I think
I don't think you could get that amount of content out of The Last of Us.
No, probably not. No. But I do hope The Last of Us, and I'm still holding out hope that one day factions will be rebooted or restarted in some way, and we'll get it.
I just don't know why it looks like it sounds like it was nearly complete. Why not either hand it over to somebody else, hire more people, or just don't make it a live service, just make it a multiplayer?
I would have rather Blue Point carried on with that.
Yeah.
than the God of War thing that got cancelled anyway.
Why not sell it to Microsoft and they can feed it to MUSE?
Yes.
So that's it for the news.
No, I have something.
Oh, go on, Joe.
Nintendo are re-releasing some old Pokemon games.
Oh, I've heard about this, but it is a rumor. So at the minute,
well, the thing that fans are divided over is the way it's releasing, because it's not coming. It's not coming to the game service where other Game Boy games are going, other Game Boy Color games are going.
So
they're being re-released as packs.
Yeah,
three games.
The packaging looked like leaf green, heart gold, and
ruby,
emerald, or something, or ruby. The packaging say Gen 3. They're packaging one of the Gen 1s, one of the Gen 2s, and one of the Gen 3s.
That's right.
And then they're packaging the other ones in a different package.
And then there's a third one that's going to be the combined games, like Crystal.
So you better get in that one.
Yeah.
The yellow, emerald, and crystal pack that has everything anyway.
Yes, but why would they not release them in red, green, yellow, then gold, silver, crystal, and then the other one? Because then you could have them, you could go between and trade the Pokemon between them.
I know. No, they want you to buy both. That's right.
They want you to buy everything. Money. and
Evil.
The re-releases of these games, because they're not touching them up, are they? They're literally just
they're literally
re-releasing them, which is what most of these games end up on the Nintendo service.
Yes.
You know, because they're just bringing them back.
Because they're not they're not remastering them or remaking them. If they were doing it like they did with Pearl and Diamond, I would be all over it. Because I like how that game turned out.
This is just a rumor at the moment. It seems like there's a lot of weight to it, so it could very well happen.
It's very on
judgment, but it is very Game Freak in Nintendo.
Pretty funnily, by the time this episode comes out, I think we'll know. Because there is a Pokemon Presents on the 27th.
Okay.
Which is Thursday after recording this.
And this will come out
on Sunday. So we might know by then.
Yeah, again, standard garnish.
Yes.
Yeah, if it does end up being true, though, it is a really scumbag move that everyone will forgive Nintendo for.
The Pokemon company as well.
Yeah.
Get away with.
Oh, apparently.
Evil.
And I say apparently with double quotes. Yellow, Crystal, and Emerald are available as a bonus digital code, which is only included in the double pack, which contains both collections.
Yeah.
So you have to buy both sets of games to get the combined game.
But it's not just buy both sets of games, it's buy both sets of game in that one purchase, because if you buy both sets of games separately, I can't imagine they combine.
No.
So,
which is stupid.
I know, and I bet they're full price. I bet it's like 100 quid.
I know, it will be. Something ridiculous. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
25-year-old games, or however old they are.
Well, next episode, we'll definitely be talking about the Pokemon Presents, I assume. So we will see.
So is that it for the news?
Yeah, I think we should move on to what Ben's got cooking. What have you got cooking?
Games coming out.
Games coming out.
I didn't sing it. I'm not going to.
Games coming out.
So insert clip.
I want everyone to know, by the way, that Jake does the bit Badoo every single time. I usually do the special segment and we dub it anyway because it sounds better. Ben
Your
just
first
doesn't.
Take was the best.
Yeah, Ben just doesn't.
I've done it once.
He cops out.
I said to you, I've done it once. Not my fault if you haven't got the clip.
Shame.
I just can't wait till I get my own segment.
I know.
One day.
You've had your own little things here and there. You had special guest.
Oh, that's it, yeah.
Cool. So, we always do this, don't we? Yeah,
Ruffle.
Happy days. Fragpunk.
Oh,
I forgot that was coming.
Is that coming out?
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that the one that's got like big ad mode?
Yeah.
Hero shooter, bit Marvel rival-esque.
Well, first person. It's more like, I want to say it's more like CSGO.
Yeah.
Like Valorant.
And do you get like cards or something? And you activate cards, things happen.
The difference is they're like world-changing cards.
Yeah.
So you just change the elements. You can make it rain. You can make it do random things, and the cards are random. So you'll set off random deck.
Some of them are small, some of them are big, sort of.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be laid out like that on purpose.
Is it free to play?
I don't know, actually.
Okay.
Didn't find that information anywhere, unfortunately.
I think it is, but I could be wrong.
It might come to Game Pass.
True. When does it come out?
6th of March.
Cool. Not long.
Nice
PC, PS5, X, and S.
I'll have to give it a go. If it's free to
Killing
play.
Floor.
3.
Yes, 3. Yeah, 3. It was a 3. It was like way further along on the page. Odd.
This is a zombie annihilation game, isn't it? Killing Floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine COD Zombies, but
6-player co-op. Messy. Looks
6
fun.
players. That's pretty impressive.
I've played 1 and 2, and they were both good fun, but I didn't play them for that long. So hopefully this one's introduced more mechanics.
Maybe. 25th of March. PC, PS5, XS, and Switch.
And get that dad for his birthday.
Yeah.
Good stress relief game.
You just didn't even play
I'll
it.
never play it.
I'm a little excited for this one. 2 Point Museum. Don't know if you've ever played
I've
2
never
Point
played
Hospital.
the games.
Like Theme Hospital.
Yeah.
Well, it's 2 Point Hospital in it. That's
Yeah.
It was
The
ace.
perspective, yeah.
See, they release these games so quick. I didn't even I'd only heard about the museum one not like last month or something.
No, I think it's been in works for a while.
I know, but then
Well, I imagine the engine will be the same for all of them. It's just asset generation.
The original 2 Point Hospitals are old, and I think they did a new one.
PlayStation 1, man.
Well, that's what I mean. Like 2 Point Hospital came out not so long ago.
A few years again, I think.
Yeah, well,
but they're not my sort of games.
Time is
flat circle.
Ben's kind of game.
Yeah.
It's fun. They're fun. They're cheesy. They're silly. They make me chuckle because, why wouldn't you need a head popper hospital. Anyway, this one's museum based. Apparently it set people out to do archaeological digs and stuff like that in it. And it sounds fun. All I wrote down for it was, you build a museum, smiley face. So
what happens at the night?
I'm hoping everything comes alive.
Ben goes to sleep.
Yeah. and then Ben Stiller awakes.
PC, PS5, X, and I wrote 8 rather than S there. Who knows? And Switch. I didn't write it down.
Wow.
Jake, would you check for me? Because I failed there.
I will check.
Sorry.
Failure.
We'll move on and come back to you.
Yeah, no worries.
WWE 2K25. Written, it's wrestling.
They come out at a weird time now.
They do.
Because I think they missed 1 year because it was like terrible or something, and then they delayed one, and now they all come out in March for some reason.
Do they coincide with the wrestling season?
I was wondering, was it the start of a season or so? I don't really know.
No, I think it's just because it got delayed once, and now it is annually March.
Annually delayed.
It's coming out everywhere. 14th of March.
I have heard they've gotten a lot better since they skipped a year.
Yeah,
I believe they have improved a lot, but they're not really
time to work on it, I guess.
I used to love them back in the day.
Oh, SmackDown versus Raw.
Oh, me and Jake played them so much, my mum hid it from us.
I used to like you could take the fight backstage.
Yeah, and then we found it and we played it anyway.
I remember she walked in and we were still playing it and we both looked at each other like...
The problem was we were wrestling outside of the game. So we play the game and then it's like video games are making you violent, and we're like, no, they don't. And me and Jake are sort of like slamming each other into the ground.
People's elbowing.
Yeah.
Anyway, 2 Point Hospital, 4th of March.
Okay.
2 Point Museum,
sorry.
We're really good at this job,
We are.
This is a good one for you, Joe. Wreckfest 2.
Hell yeah.
Already? I only thought I saw the trailer for that the other day, like the first trailer.
It's coming to early access PC.
That's why. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
I really liked it, Wreckfest 1. So I'm looking forward to this coming on console. But
20th of March. Should run on a Steam Deck eventually.
It might. Yeah,
If you can get Steam early access, you'd be able to run it.
We'll see. It comes up with more modes.
More lawnmowers.
I think the worry is the layout sort of suggesting they're going to be a bit pay windowy. It's scary. It might not be.
Buying cars.
Yeah. It seems like pack releasing and stuff like that. But you never know.
We will see.
PS5, Xbox, and everywhere will be a lot later, it just says.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I thought you meant now, I was thinking.
Yeah.
No. I don't know why I wrote it down like that. I could just put everywhere later.
It's not untrue.
Right. There's a life sim, and I don't know how to say it. Inzoi?
Oh.
Inzoi?
Yeah. Is that coming out?
Yeah. A
like
realistic life sim. Yeah, like the Sims, but they look way more human.
Yeah, they look like creepily human.
Yeah, it's a bit much for me.
It's not like Second Life, is it?
It's more like Sims, I think. You play as like
get
God.
A job, yeah.
But you play as God for your Zoe, whatever they're called, and you can send them off to do things, and you can give them like, I believe there's some like AI in it.
I don't know a lot about it, if I'm honest.
I've heard people talking about it.
The thing that really stood out was how clean it kind of looks. It really does look quite good, but like you say, just a little cringy on the people. They look like they're going to stab you in your sleep.
It's PC only, I assume.
PC early access for 28th of March, and then the consoles will be later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, could be interesting.
First Berserker Kazan.
That's this month.
Yeah.
27th of March. Does everybody know what it is? Or
Well, me and Jake played it.
Yeah, we played the
of course you did.
Played the demo.
We played the demo.
I'd forgotten.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the demo, but I'm not like itching to buy it immediately when it comes out. But I'm looking forward to playing it eventually.
If it comes to a pass, I'll probably pick it up sooner. If it doesn't,
Definitely.
I'll probably still like to play it anyway. But
Same.
later.
Same.
One for the backlog.
Yeah. Listen to our thoughts a couple episodes ago when we played the demo, or just play the demo yourself, preferably both.
Oh, did it stay out? It didn't get taken down?
I think it's still out now. Yeah, you can still get it. Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Oh, finally.
I wrote nothing down for it on purpose.
I'm
Just wanted to be-
interested to see how this lands.
It's just such a shame that it's coming out next month.
Just wanted to be quiet.
Do you remember a while back I made a suggestion for games to add a canon mode?
Yes.
There is a canon mode in this game.
Yes, I heard about
this.
this.
Ubisoft have clearly been listening to the Garnish podcast
Yes.
and thought,
Even though you're an informant for
Brad is
Ubisoft.
such a good idea. Yeah, good ideas guy.
So how does it pop up? Does it just tell you what?
I think you select it at the beginning and then it just doesn't give you choices.
And then you just
So
play
that's
through
not
the story.
quite the way I would have liked it. I would
Yeah.
like it so you play it as normal and then it gave you a hint at what is the
The correct choice.
not the correct choice, but the canon,
canon
choice.
choice, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll see, I suppose.
20th of March, PC, PS5, iPad OS.
What?
Yes,
Really?
apparently so. I had
They
a
did that
moment
with Mirage. They did that with
Right.
Assassin's Creed Mirage. That's on
That's
Anyway.
a very
iPhone, yeah.
strange choice.
There's
There's a big push for
the processing for
pretty
games is on an
powerful.
iPad.
Pretty
Surely an
powerful.
iPad Pro would be alright, but a regular iPad Air that most people have?
Yeah, but you'll have to have like the latest version of it, and it'll tell you what if
Yeah.
it can and can't run.
Oh, okay.
Limitations,
It'll probably
I
run on
guess.
my phone, to be honest. But they've got a really big push for some reason, Ubisoft and Capcom, to push port things to iPhone.
How well is selling?
Not very.
Yeah.
But but maybe eventually, I think the way they're looking at it is eventually people might start using the phones more for big
Like,
games.
this is the Ubisoft.
And at that point, they'll have a catalog on there already.
Fair enough.
So
Yeah.
maybe.
Atomfall.
Oh,
is
I'm
that
looking
okay?
forward to this.
Wow, yeah, I didn't know
British
that. was coming out.
Fallout.
Yeah, that's on Game Pass, isn't it? Or is
It will be.
It just said literally everything I've written down. UK Fallout. It's coming day one to Game Pass.
We didn't say the date. No,
I'll not do it. I'll just not be here.
We didn't say the date.
Did you write that down?
No, I didn't. No, 27th of March.
Okay, cool. It's cool.
I'm really looking forward to it because, like we said, UK Fallout. I love Fallout games. I love the ideas. It's
The humor will just
60s
be better.
sort of
They've done
60s set,
some
they
cool-
reckon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's based around an actual disaster, a nuclear disaster that happened in the lakes. I don't know much about it, but it's set then.
Like an alternate future.
Yeah.
Around then.
I've seen there's a few gameplay like deep dives at I think it's Rebellion who are making it.
Yeah, rings a bell.
They've done a few deep dives on it, so it's worth the watch. I don't think it's necessarily what people expected, but yeah, it's quite cool.
Nice.
Last one from me. Split Fiction.
Yes, of course.
God, everything's coming out so soon.
I know.
Oh,
I really, really want to play Split Fiction. Need to get.
I didn't write the date down again.
I think it's 6th of March. I think.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
soon. Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure I read the other day it was 6th of March.
There's some
On everything but bar Switch as well.
there's some hands-on impressions of it as well out there.
Yes.
Which are all very positive. So
Yeah, yeah.
Something I absolutely love and want to mention about it is the whole friends pass idea with it.
yes,
You only have to have one copy of the game to play with a friend,
yeah.
really cool idea.
and that's even cross-platform apparently.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that
So-
worked for It Takes Two. It still sold loads of copies. So
Oh, 100%.
I think
And
a
they're
lot
not
of-
even full price games.
no, a lot of people give a lot of flack to EA, and rightfully so. But the EA Originals program is like really good.
Yeah. No, agreed.
especially for some games like this.
Yeah.
So
It's a shame when they don't do well, like that Magic game that came out the other
Halls of
year.
Avium, yeah.
That was it.
But still, they invested in it.
They did. They
So-
did. Loads of games. As usual.
So, with games coming up out the way, showed you some socials.
I think we should. Take
I think
us
it's
away.
Socials time. So you can find us everywhere.
Job done. Bye.
That's a garnish. And that's a garnish. Your phone's a garnish. Posters everywhere now.
Discord's a garnish. Facebook's a garnish.
So if you want to find us on all the social media, Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, Twitter, everything. YouTube, we're on YouTube. Jake's done a great job with the YouTube videos. The main place to find us though is Discord. Yes. There's always conversations popping up there. We've had quite a few new joiners recently, so that's very much appreciated. Thank you guys.
Anyone that discovered us via the con we went to, thank you for joining us.
Anyone who's discovered us in any way, thank you very much. It's always appreciated. So definitely can't thank you enough.
Welcome. Could only apologise.
I like our little I like our little community, even though most of it's about Warhammer at the minute.
That's my bad. I'm sorry.
But it's a lovely community, and it seems to be growing nicely. But you can also email us at gaminggarnish@gmail.com. You can email us a question or any ideas you have for the pod. We're always open to ideas, talking points,
questions, anything. Yeah,
anything. So get us anywhere you want us, except in the streets.
Yes,
that might be a bit weird.
Try not to show up at my house as well. That's not so great.
Yeah. Also, while we talk about socials, I also want to give a shout out to Jake's wife, who's done a really cool bit of art for us on some of our social media platforms.
Yes, I'm trying to put it everywhere. It's the cover photo on our.
It's a bit of a hint at what we look like, but not a full.
Yes. So if you actually like her art, I better plug it. Being my wife and everything. Almora Music and Art.
Yeah.
She has loads of art and she does music too.
Yeah. She definitely made you look better than everyone else, so. Spent all the time on you. Yeah,
Can I say she
making Jane look better. Yeah. So thanks for that.
Cool.
So shall we move on to this week's special segment? I love it every time. I genuinely promise I do it every time and we just dub over.
One day I'll just forget to dub it and then I'll be like, whoa, what happened?
So people are probably really confused when we come out of it laughing every time.
Yeah.
But it just pops us. It pops us.
So it's kind of more news, to be fair, the special segment. We're going to talk about
news section.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the big PlayStation State of Play that happened over the last 2 weeks.
Big's one word for it.
Yeah. So we'll go over the...
not a word I would choose.
Yeah, well, a lot of games were shown. We'll say that. We'll go over the games and then we'll talk about what we thought, I suppose, at the end.
So it was a 40-minute state of play. So the way PlayStation do it, they've kind of got 3 ways of presenting games, don't they? Well, 4 ways. They've got a blog post when they think the game's going to die on arrival.
Yeah. Or they just want to tell you something super important, but not tell you.
Yeah.
For some reason.
They've got a 20-minute state of play, which is usually smaller, and sometimes focus on one game in particular.
Yes.
They've got the 40-minute state of plays, or the longest state of plays, which is what this is. Usually a bit more hype around them, quite a few more games shown.
Yes.
And then they've got the showcases, which are the ones everyone looks forward to, and they've not done for about 3 years.
Yeah, at least 2, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the last one showed Wolverine, and that was ages ago.
That was coming up to 3 years ago, because I hadn't moved into my house then.
Wow. Crazy.
So, madness.
And has that game come out yet?
No
way. No way near.
I've not even seen official gameplay.
No. So. Was that even before the PlayStation 5 came out?
No.
Although maybe the year after the PlayStation 5
Yeah, I think
out.
so.
Oh, wow.
God of War Ragnarok was shown.
Okay.
I remember that.
So it started off with something that's on. It's going to be out by the time this podcast episode's out. Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yay! Any platform will get a Monster Hunter clip on it. It seems.
Yes.
All of the conferences this year have had Monster Hunter.
I know you obviously love it, Joe, but I'm getting a bit sick of it being at every conference, because I'm like, we know what it is.
Well, at least this was showing something new.
Yeah.
It actually was showing that in spring they're already planning on adding a new monster.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a bit of a hint at the roadmap.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. So pretty cool. Then we got I think this is a new game, Shinobi Art of Vengeance.
Yes, I'd not seen it before.
Same.
The original Shinobi games, are they side-scrolling
Yes.
platformers?
Well, that's what this is.
Yeah, so this is the new one. This is the new Shinobi. It's a 2D
There were some
side-scrolling
3D
action game.
ones, weren't there?
I don't know.
I don't know, actually.
Yeah, I was playing one on Game Pass recently.
Oh, okay. Well, this is like a more of a old school
Traditional.
pixel
Like
art.
what Ninja Gaiden have done.
Yeah.
It looked really cool.
It did. Very colourful. Looked
Flashy.
awesome. Yeah.
Flashy.
That's coming out on August 29th, apparently.
That's my birthday.
Yeah.
Maybe we should get it Joe for his birthday.
Maybe.
That may have been a GDPR violation.
On yourself.
No. Doxing me.
They don't know your last name.
Oh,
Good.
no.
I didn't know your last name till last time we met.
Nobody will ever figure it out.
But that did look pretty awesome. I might actually pick that up, especially if it's on Game Pass. They didn't. Obviously, it's a PlayStation State of Play.
Yeah, they didn't announce that it was on Game Pass. It was PlayStation State of Play.
Go and get it for free.
So then they showed, you know how...
Just really quickly,
Go
I'm
on.
just going to interject a little bit of news.
Oh, yeah.
That's reminded me.
Going back to the news.
But back to the news.
What's he called? Phil. Big Phil.
Phil Spencer.
Phil Spencer, that's the one.
Yeah.
He has come out and said that he's no longer going to restrict PlayStation and Nintendo logos from his Xbox.
Yeah, I actually
showcases.
know in their last showcase, you could see the logos.
Yeah, so he's
Yeah.
allowing them on there. That just reminded me,
Yeah.
as if PlayStation would say, coming to Game Pass.
Yeah.
But
So you know what? Was it Summer Games Fest that they showed us the new Sonic Racing Crossworlds game?
Oh,
And it was
yeah,
like
yeah.
the shortest trailer imaginable. Well, they actually showed some gameplay for it this time.
is this the one where we joked they were going to scream round corners? No, that was
No, that was
Screamers.
Screamers.
Yeah.
That was-
Screamers, yeah.
You definitely had some joke for the Sonic game, though.
Well, I think we
Well-
were talking about Screamers, and then you were talking about Shadow the Hedgehog screaming around corners later on.
Yes.
So, but it actually, I don't know why they need cars. I don't know why
Yeah,
they're not
'cause-
just
Well,
running.
you didn't ever play
Sonic runs.
Sonic All-Star Racing Transformed?
What? No.
Take that as you didn't know.
And
it
then Sonic
existed.
Team Racing as well.
Yeah, it came out years ago.
Oh, okay,
Like 10 years ago, something like that.
that makes more
It's
sense.
supposed to be pretty good. This isn't the first one
No.
of the racing.
And there's also
Sonic.
Sonic
Yeah.
Riders, where you're on airboards.
Yes.
And then the GOAT, Sonic. What is it called? Sonic
And Mario the
Heroes.
Olympic
Sonic
Games.
Heroes.
If Sonic Heroes is just a
That's not
normal
a
Sonic
racing game.
It was.
It was just a normal Sonic
Did it
game.
not? I'm sure you
Yeah,
raced.
you had a team of 3,
Yeah,
and
did
you
not
were just
race?
going through the
No.
level. No.
Oh, I thought you raced.
In Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, you raced on rails, and you could race another person in a level.
I'm getting confused. Maybe I'm confusing it with Rayman M.
That was a good game.
It wasn't.
It wasn't, but it was good. I loved it.
The one where you were Rayman and you were racing.
That was literally on foot.
Raymen.
Yeah.
And
The
you,
plural.
you couldn't,
Different Rayman.
you weren't fast at all in Rayman. You were not running fast at all. You were just walking. And that was great.
Maybe it stood for like mile per hour.
But it was good, I swear. Anyway, back to the state of play. Sonic Racing.
Went screaming around corners of
Yeah.
Rayman M.
I think it was a more loose like.
You're mumbling on the cobbles.
Yeah.
Sonic Racing Crossworlds looks like you're jumping through like dimensions and stuff.
I thought that looked quite cool.
It actually do it like
Like
It
in
look-
the race.
yeah. So it looks like
Yeah.
you're changing track mid race.
I suspect
It does look cool.
I suspect a track will have these portals that always send you to the same.
Well, I thought that, but then I think they've come out since and said it is a bit more random.
That'll be if it is random. I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
So you basically have like however many tracks, but each track has like 3 or 4 variations of
Yeah.
different tracks you can go into.
It'd be sick.
yeah.
But then, like, how many tracks can it change from, and will it get a bit samey?
I don't know.
If the tracks
It
are
might
always
get to do
changing.
that thing like you do in Smash where you can do the level morph. Like halfway through it, like changes to this track. You pick like 3 tracks and it can go
Yes.
between those 3.
Yes.
Maybe.
That'd
Yeah.
be cool. That'd be cool. I forgot about that in Smash.
So did I. I was about to ask what you're on about, but
So next up, we got a trailer, and the narrator built this up, and it seemed rather like sinister and very serious, and with like an anime art style. And then all of a sudden, it just said, "Digimon."
yeah.
Oh my God. I thought you were going to go Hello Kitty Island Survival.
I mean, I love me some Digimon,
Me too.
but
I
it did
played a game in
make
ages.
out like it was going to be something very different.
Definitely.
Is this like a new Digimon World free roam game?
I think so. It's called
Yeah.
Digimon Story Time Stranger, and I think it's very similar to the more recent Digimon games that have come out, which I haven't played, to be
Like
honest.
Cyber Sleuth.
Yes, yeah, more like Cyber Sleuth, I think.
I did love the original Digimon World.
Great game. Very confusing, but great game.
Very hard game.
Yes. Another trailer for a game called Lost Soul Aside. Now, this has been shown before, and now it's got a release date of May 30th. It looks very cool. I think it's just made by one guy as well.
I've heard that. I don't know if it is.
Or it was. It started as one guy anyway.
Insane if it is.
Yeah. 'Cause it's
What
like,
sort of game is this?
Looks like a Devil May Cry sort of like character action type game.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Very flashy.
Yeah.
Flashy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Is it
it's cool.
PlayStation exclusive?
No.
They didn't.
They
no.
didn't say.
good.
I think it's coming out and everything, but obviously PlayStation was showing it off.
Yeah.
Here.
Look, it is a cool, like sort of a techno futury sort of look.
Yeah, it's
But-
kind of very Final Fantasy,
But then
Devil
he
May
wears
Cry.
like a long coat.
Yeah,
So
not cool.
cool.
Dave the Diver is getting a crossover with Like a Dragon. It feels like it's getting crossovers with everybody.
Yeah,
Is that
a lot of
with
indie
the-
games are.
Pirate Yakuza in Miami?
No,
crossover?
actually, it's with Ichiban.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It actually looks pretty funny. There was a little trailer and like Ichiban's on the ship and he rips off his shirt or something. I was like, cool.
That's very in character.
Maybe I need to play Dave the Diver.
Dave the Diver.
Dave, that's what I said.
I think it's Dave
Holy
the Diver.
diver.
Oh my God,
Oh,
we're
no,
back.
we're going somewhere.
We're back to Dave the Diver.
Bit of
Which is a
VO.
much cooler name.
It just sounds like a completely different game though.
Dave the Diver.
Oh no.
Not Dave the Diver. Go and get some prawns.
I wish that was his voice. But,
It might be. You've never played it.
Isn't it just text? You'll never know.
yeah.
That's what you can read it in.
That's what can be in your
Yes.
head.
Always.
So Splitgate Alpha is coming out on February 27th. So very, very soon.
By the
announced it at
time,
State of
by
Play.
the time this comes out,
So you'll be able to play it.
I think
Yeah.
that's free to play.
Wait,
Yes,
is that the
it
name
is.
of the game or is it in alpha?
No, sorry, it's Splitgate 2. The
And it's
Alpha.
Oh, right.
into
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. And to be fair,
It's not called Splitgate Alpha.
no.
No, I never
Right,
played
okay.
Splitgate 1.
No,
It
so
looks good. It looks like I won't be able to play it. It'll be too confusing. Too many portals.
basically looks like Halo crossed with Portal
yes,
almost. So
hard.
cool. Now, Ben's already mentioned that WWE 2K25 is coming out next month. They showed a weird trailer for this. Something about an island. It looks very Mortal Kombat Crips, but I just can tell that it's there to make you grind to customize your characters and paywall everything.
What it is, it's like an online hub.
Yeah.
So like 50 people will spawn into the island and you might have a fight going on in the middle, which I think is quite a cool idea. So you can have spectators watching you fight,
Yeah.
but then around the island map, there's like a Nike store and you can buy like trainers.
Back in the
Wow.
Yeah. And whether it's that like in your face, I don't know, but the concept of buying your cosmetics in the
Do
island.
they have stats?
Well,
Nike stats.
probably.
They make you faster.
Well, I think some of the best things about the WWE games was you just had everything at the start. You can make your characters look however crazy you wanted.
And maybe you still can.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we all
Yeah.
just judged it early, but who knows?
We will
Probably
see.
not. It's 2K in it, so
Yeah. We got a new Borderlands 4 trailer.
we got a new trailer and an announcement of the release date or release roughly time.
No, yeah, we got a
Release
release
date.
date, which is September 23rd.
Nice. And an
Ooh.
announcement for a state of play
Yeah.
focused purely on Borderlands 4, which is not expected.
No, I was not. I mean, it's crazy that Borderlands is getting a state
Yeah.
of play and they're not just doing their own thing.
Yeah. Every time I see anything Borderlands and Randy Pitchford appears, it makes me like it less.
Yeah, I know what you
Because
mean.
he's just like
They had this
a
whole
bit of a
thing.
weird, greasy guy.
The two people who were like, obviously Randy Pitchford was there, and then there was another guy called Randy, and they were really trying to make the two Randy joke work in this
You
talk.
can tell that was Randy Pitchford's idea as well.
Yeah, and it wasn't working.
Yeah. Don't like that guy.
I don't even know how you would even make a
there's
two Randys
something
joke
about him.
work.
They were just going like, over to you, Randy.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Oof.
So quickly, they showed a bit more Split Fiction. again, coming out March 6th. They showed a new trailer from the team who make Until Dawn. It's called Directive 8020. I think you say it like that.
And they announced it as another Dark Pictures game, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, this time in space.
Yeah. So it wears its inspirations on its sleeve. It's very The Thing meets Alien.
Yes, 100%.
That sounds like it could be cool.
But yeah, it could be cool. Now, they're a bit hit and miss, Supermassive games. It is Supermassive, isn't it? I'm sure it is.
Yes.
Until Dawn was really good, and people really liked The Quarry, but then they did the Dark Pictures games in between, which was like an anthology series that was pretty hit and miss. People, on the whole, didn't really like them.
Are they the ones that are a bit more HP Lovecraft?
I think they're all different.
Oh, okay.
So I thought Until Dawn and The Quarry were part of the anthology.
No, they're not.
Oh, okay.
The Dark Pictures anthology was its own thing, and now this is being identified as a Dark Pictures game. So I don't know whether they're trying to class them all as Dark Pictures games now. I don't know.
It makes sense to me. Like anything horror, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. It does look good, though.
Yeah, it did. And it also has a release date of October the 2nd.
In time
Oh, near Halloween.
Mm. Speaking of Halloweeny things, another Five Nights at Freddy's game.
Yeah.
This one's called Secret of the Mimic. Looked a bit spooky. Looked like this mimic thing.
I've got zero interest in anything Five Nights at Freddy's.
100% same, unfortunately.
I can't muster any enthusiasm.
It just looked like this mimic was turning into the other animatronics.
Yeah, like it does look creepy.
What surprises me most about Five Nights at Freddy's is it's a horror genre game, but they have plushies. Like in Tesco's.
Kids love it as well.
That's what I don't know, because it doesn't look like it's tailored to kids, but kids seem to love it. But have you seen those, what are they called, like fuglets or something like that, or fuglies?
Fuggles.
Yeah. They're hideous. Lucy bought some for our dogs. They've got like dog versions, and you can pull out the teeth, but the teeth are like plastic. They obviously must be chewable, but it's horrible. They've got bumholes. These toys have bumholes.
How do you think the stuffing gets in there?
They're really horrible looking.
I haven't seen these. You have to show me.
Yeah, you have to Google like
they're in Tesco's, dude.
Look at the SpongeBob and Patrick Fuggles as well. You know, like in SpongeBob when it goes ultra hyper detail for some reason.
And you see all the spots and teeth marks.
Making a toy out of it. It's horrible.
Cool.
Kids love it for some reason.
So 13th of June for that new Five Nights game. Now, do you remember the game called The Midnight Walk? That was a PSV. It wasn't just VR, but it was PSVR 2 and
this looks
PlayStation.
Hideous in the best way.
Yeah,
hideous. Like scary.
Yeah.
It's all claymation.
Which just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's grim already.
Yeah,
but they brought out. They showed a bit more off with it. You can get a gun in it.
Yeah.
So you can fight off the creepy claymation.
I don't know if it's going to be more like, say, Scorn was, where you can get a gun, but it's not
really.
It doesn't do much.
Sounds like you're protecting this little guy. Using like the trailers mostly.
But it looks creepy, really creepy. It's a really good trailer, but
yeah, really creative.
Not for me.
Yeah. Oh, same. But for people who like that sort of game, it looks great. Konami are bringing out a game called Darwin's Paradox, which basically plays a little octopus.
This stole the show.
Yeah, you play as like a little octopus, and it's very like Limbo, but more like I would say a bit more upbeat.
Yeah, don't worry.
More colourful.
You might like this one. It's like Inside without the Holocaust vibe.
Outside.
Yeah. But yeah, it looked cool. Yeah, he plays this like octopus thing, but it looks really well animated and interactive, and it's like a 2D side scroller with a 3D environment.
Yeah, it looks really fun, nice, actually.
Kind of one for Konami.
Definitely, but I feel like they must have at some point taken a back seat and reconfigured and and they're slowly coming back now.
Hopefully they're doing a Capcom.
Yes.
But we'll see.
Yeah. Did you ever want to see a Warriors game crossed with a roguelike?
No.
Well, you're going to get one called Warriors Abyss.
Yeah. There's Dynasty Warriors with an isometric view. Sort of looks like Hades mixed with Dynasty Warriors.
You know what? I'll give them some credit. They're trying something new.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like a Warriors game Like, it's not like behind the shoulder or anything like
Third-person
that.
action, yeah.
It's like top down, looks very Hades, and you're fighting loads of people at once, which
I
can be
think
really
it's
cool.
out as well, isn't
It's
it?
out now. Yeah.
So give it a go.
So an interesting one. I hope it does well because I feel like anything creative in that Warriors genre
Is worth seeing.
is worth seeing.
Yeah.
Definitely. Onimusha 2 is getting remastered, and that's coming out on May 25th. So pretty cool. Pretty cool for the Onimusha fans. Also for those, we've just heard about The Way of the Sword. There was some more gameplay. There was some actual gameplay
It's
shown.
surprising how soon we got gameplay.
Yeah, because I was assuming it was like a trailer and we're going to be years away.
Yeah.
But it looks more like we're maybe only a couple of years away.
Yeah. I thought it looked cool. It looked
Well, if there's already gameplay, it might even be next year.
maybe.
Possibly.
There was some really interesting things it's doing. Like there was a bit where, if you watch it back, the animation is a bit janky, but he like throws someone into like a blanket, and the blanket gets caught on his head.
Yeah.
He's like flailing around trying to get this like cloth off his head, and I thought that was really cool.
It looks very interactive. You can like throw a table and use it as like
he like lifted a table up and sort of got behind it, and then did he throw it at the end or something?
Yeah, I think I kicked it away. Yeah.
So it looks interactive and cool.
It doesn't look as like I've never played the Onimusha games back in the day, but this looks a bit more combat centered than it was kind of like
it was like a survival horror
game before.
It did run on rails a bit like Resident Evil did.
Yeah, it was
like
on the
tank
same
controls.
engine, I believe.
Yeah.
But this is more.
It's very hard because of that.
This looks more like a sword fighty action game. Probably not like a Devil May Cry character action game, but not a Souls-like slow game.
It's probably more like a Ninja Gaiden.
Maybe.
Fast Souls.
Yeah, but I don't think maybe as hard. It looks like you can interact with the world a bit more, which I really love. Like that's why I loved Sifu so much, because you can like kick chairs at people and stuff.
Definitely. Hopefully just a good character action game.
Yeah.
So
it's cool.
Looks cool. The Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater remake is coming out 28th of August.
Cool. Release date?
So we finally got a release date for that, because I feel like that's been shown at nearly every PlayStation thing recently.
It has.
Yeah. Well, this trailer had leaked online a week or two before.
It had.
Which is a shame.
It is. It looks really cool.
Was there much more shown than what we've already seen?
Just
Not
another
particularly,
just character trailer for the different characters, and an announcement. I think in the original game there was a Ape Escape mini game built into it.
Yes,
and I think they've announced that's coming back. So,
oh yeah,
and more they said,
as
well. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Do you remember Hell Is Us from one of the old PlayStation State of Plays?
That was the Souls-esque.
Yeah, with like a drone. You've got a drone with you and a sword still.
Yeah.
And then the creatures come at you with like no faces.
I do not remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was just basically a new trailer for this. I think it was a bit more like focusing on the story rather than the last time it showed a bit of combat. Whereas this time it was kind of like showing the world a bit more.
It looked cool.
That got a release date too of September 4th.
Nice.
Brad's going to be very happy at this, and I know a few other people who will be. Lies of P's getting some DLC.
I am happy. I just don't think I'll play it.
I feel like it's been too long.
Yeah, and that was the same for Elden Ring, but Elden Ring had a bigger drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Maybe I will.
It's called Overture, and I think it's supposed to be a prequel to the main game.
That. Yeah.
So I don't know how that would work. You must... I don't know how it starts, so...
But it's cool. I'm glad they've done it. Yeah,
cool.
Cool, innit?
A new game was shown called Dreams of Another. Now, this one looked weird. You were basically like a third-person shooter, and you're in this, like, almost...
point cloud world. Everything's made of pixel, like point cloud pixels floating around.
And then you would shoot these clouds, and they would reveal, like, these environment.
Yeah. The creator has said usually you shoot to destroy, but in this game you shoot to create or something.
Yeah.
I don't really get it.
So
it's an interesting look.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure I get it yet.
Interesting idea, but I feel like I need to see a bit more.
Long distance Minecraft.
Yeah. Yeah.
Snipecraft.
Ben, you might really like this next one, considering you lost your save file. Days Gone's getting a remaster.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be the tipping point of me playing it, provided it's not mega money to get hold of.
Well, I
'cause-
think it's a £10 upgrade.
Do you own Days
no,
Gone?
but I will if
Yeah.
it's
You
the
can just
upgrade
buy the
type.
old one.
Yeah.
Like pre-owned or something.
Well,
and
unless it
upgrade
goes up in price now.
Oh, that's
yeah.
a very Sony move. So,
Yeah. That's what they did with
Awesome.
Horizon. So.
well, that comes out April 25th.
But it's
so
only a £10 upgrade if you own it and you didn't get it as part of the PlayStation Plus giveaway when they gave it away.
I've heard this. That's so cheeky.
Yeah.
That's very Sony.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, right.
That must mean they were planning this. There'll be something different in the code for that one, for it to recognize it.
They
I
did
think
exactly the
often
same with
there is,
Horizon
yeah.
too. Which
Yeah.
I don't know how you would be able to tell. Yeah, there must be something in the code to
Because
be
when you
you get it
download
for
a free game, it says thank you for your purchase.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, you even get an email about it.
Yeah. Weird.
So,
You spent £0.00 on this game.
yeah.
How weird.
A new survival base builder called Abiotic Factor. 6
I'm
players
listening.
as well. Kind of looked a bit cartoony. I don't really remember this one as well as everything else, to be honest. But
I remember the name, believe it or not, 'cause it's a weird name, but I remember that more than I do the gameplay.
yeah, well, basically, as I just said, survival base builder. I think it looked a bit more cartoony and pixely, but 3D.
One for Ben.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sounds the part.
Yeah, it sounds apart from those like 3 words.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I really like the look of this one. It's called Tales of Annihilation.
Hmm.
Looks very Elden Ring, but I believe it's not a Souls-like, which was.
Is it in the
this,
Tales
like,
of series?
No. So this comes out of, what's it called? The China Hero Project. So this
Yeah.
is an incentive that Sony have set up to basically put money into the Chinese video game scene. I don't know the developer of this one, but it's come about from that initiative. And it looks good. It's set in like England.
Yeah, you see like
Kinda not.
ruined London.
Yeah, and it's a character action game, which it seems like we're getting more of them, and I'm all for that now.
100%.
Is it Tides of Annihilation?
Tides of Annihilation, yeah.
Not Tales.
Yeah, sorry, I said
It
Tales
says
before.
Tales,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's
Tides.
Tides of Annihilation.
Yeah.
There is again for this like a 16-minute or something like that gameplay deep dive.
There
I've
is.
not watched, and I need to watch it.
Yeah, it
I've seen
came out
clips
after.
from it, but
It looks really fun, really flashy. It's got Shadow Heart's voice from
Flashy.
Baldur's Gate. You can tell we've all been watching Demon Slayer.
I know. Jesus.
It's just so good.
It looks good. It's interesting to see the Chinese scene become a bit more prominent for like full released console games.
Yeah.
And single player games.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
interesting to see that one.
Keep an eye on that one. A new game called Metal Eden coming out March 6th.
Oh yes, I know the one. It's
Looks like Quantum Break a little bit.
no, it's first person shooter.
Is Quantum Break not a first person shooter?
No, you must be thinking of a different game. Quantum Break's the one by Remedy.
Right, I'll come back in and basically just say,
Yeah.
Yeah. so it kind of looks like it's like a first person sort of character action game.
No, not character action. When the trailer first came on, I was convinced it was Marathon
Yes, I know what you
because
mean.
it looks
Yeah,
so
'cause you're in like
visually. It looks so much like Marathon.
You're almost in a mech suit, but
I wouldn't
not-
necessarily say mech.
yeah.
It's very
It's like an EVA
pristine-
suit.
yeah,
It's very like pristine plastic, like futurism.
yeah,
Very,
Yeah.
what do you call it? Starfield punk.
Kind of, yeah, but very like neon at the same time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it really looked like it was Marathon. I was convinced it was Marathon. And then the name came up and I was like, what is that? But it's like a first person shooter. I don't think they really announced much about it.
No, they didn't,
other
to be
than that.
fair. Oh, and then the release date,
Yeah.
So-
When was the release date?
March 6th.
Wow, soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to double
When you
check
say
that.
Marathon, is that the old Bungie property?
Yes, but they're remaking it, aren't they?
Oh.
Yeah, Bungie's
okay.
next game is Marathon. That they're working on. They're just not showing it again. And there's one trailer for it, and it looked quite like this. So
Oh, yeah.
that's what made me
May 6th.
May 6th.
May
Okay,
6th.
not March 6th.
Yeah. It would have come up in Ben's.
It would have done.
Yeah, thing.
Games
Well, I
coming.
don't know. I only half-ass it sometimes, don't I?
Yeah, no, cool. May 6th release date. Be
Yeah.
cool to see more about that then, see what type of game it is.
Definitely, yeah. I feel like we need a bit more because I think that's the first time I've seen it.
Is it PS exclusive?
No.
It has that sheen that would suggest so.
I think it's coming out on Xbox as well.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
From Googling it then. So, yeah. We got a trailer for a weird one from one of the old Rockstar guys.
Leslie Benzies.
Yeah. Called Mind's Eye.
So I've done a bit more digging into this before we get into what the game is.
Yeah.
Leslie Benzies is one of the founders of Rockstar, Rockstar North, obviously from GTA fame.
Yes.
I think he was one of the biggest guys there, like one of the most prominent. I believe he left Rockstar before Red Dead 2, and then they brought him back to finish Red Dead 2 because they needed him. Something along those lines.
Okay, yeah.
He's really prominent. And he created this studio, Build a Rocket Boy.
Yes.
The last game they announced was that Everywhere game.
Yeah.
Which is that sort of like user-created content sandbox type game. Now, apparently it is out in beta. Not really heard much about it. But this game, Mind's Eye, has been made in that.
That's what I was hearing, yeah.
So it's like a fully fledged game. So they're basically showing that Everywhere, this tool can make full games, and this is one of them. And I'm mixed on it. Most of the coverage has been incredibly positive on it, which has surprised me. I thought it didn't look like a real game. It looks like, when you're watching a film or a TV show and there's someone who's playing a game.
Or the hands don't match the movements on the screen.
One of two things happens. Either they're playing a game that it doesn't match, like the controller's wrong.
They're playing like Halo with a PlayStation controller.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, you can do that soon.
And the buttons don't match. Or they're playing a game that doesn't exist. It's a fake game. And it's just like made some fake ass game.
It's just some footage.
Yeah, it looked like that.
Yeah.
It didn't look like a real game to me.
The driving looked strange. Like it wasn't real. But
and I'm not saying it looked like a fake game in it. It was unbelievable. It just looked a bit weird. It just didn't look real. Now,
it kind of like was showing gameplay, but then like cutting off before you could see the transition from like starting to shoot.
Yeah. And they showed a lot of things just blowing up randomly. I don't know. It's a story-driven single-player like shooter in a modern, slightly future modern world with driving and shooting.
Kind of like GTA.
Kind of like GTA, but maybe not with an open world.
Yeah.
It could be good. I mean, the guy obviously has done a lot of good work, so hopefully that comes through in this. I just wasn't convinced.
No, I think seeing it for the first time now, we're probably going to hear from it for the next like 2 years or something.
I don't think so. I think it'll be.
I had totally forgot about that creation tool you were on about there.
Yeah, it was shown.
I thought that was a game.
Years
ago.
About
that, everything. I thought it was going to be a game where you'd switch between like, in quote unquote, reality and then going into a
dev mode.
Like
yeah, but no,
fair dues. So the last game they showed, so bear in mind that this is other than Days Gone Remaster, this is the only first-party PlayStation title that they showed.
Interstellar?
No.
Oh.
No, a new game.
Yeah, that's it.
No.
A new game called Saras. Now, when I was watching the trailer, I was going, this looks very Returnal. And that's because it's made by the Returnal team.
Yeah, I was convinced it was Returnal 2. Now, when the guy stands up, it's like a guy on the beach. I was like, that looks a lot like Raoul Coley. Then he stood up, was like, that is Raoul Coley.
Yes.
So he's a British actor. He's been in quite a lot of things recently. Quite a lot of games. You know what I was saying before about when you're watching a TV show and you can tell when they're playing something and it's always dodgy. Now, Raoul Coley was in iZombie, which is a great TV show, and he was a massive gamer in that. And I really liked it because every time he was playing something, you could tell he was actually playing it. Yeah, and he was talking about the game that he was playing. Or, a lot of time it was like Diablo or something, and he was talking about his character in Diablo. And that always made me connect to him as a character.
Yes.
It's the first time I've ever seen that. So I always knew he was a gamer because of that. So I followed him afterwards in not literally.
In the street. When I found him.
That's very weird.
I really connect with you, Raoul.
But I followed his different films and TV shows he's been in.
He's been in a lot of games. He was actually the voice in Bolt Gun.
He was voice in Bolt Gun. I didn't realise.
He's in Gears of War as well.
Yeah, he plays Faz, I think, in Gears of War.
Yeah, the newer ones, yeah.
He's in a few Mike Flanagan TV shows.
Yes.
And he plays good characters. In fact, in one of those, he was a game dev.
Yeah,
So
it
he's
was.
clearly
Yeah,
really
yeah.
into his games. And he's dating Alana Pierce, which
blew
Oh,
my
I didn't
mind.
know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it blew my mind actually.
Yeah, because I used to
Also,
always see them together. Like, I know you and I know you. Why are you always together?
Yeah.
But it clicked. Yeah, cool.
But from what they've said, it sounds very Returnal.
Yeah.
But Returnal, I remember downloading Returnal and just never playing it.
I did play it, and the things...
He never returned to it.
Well, I
just never-
completed it.
I never turned it on
Yeah.
because I was
things-
too afraid.
The things that would annoy me about it, because Returnal's a roguelike, third-person shooter, bullet hell type game, so we've got constantly getting stuff thrown at you. And it played immaculately. It was really, really well done. But the problem with it being a roguelike, there was really very limited progression through your runs. So the only really progression is once you used a weapon, it leveled up very, very, very slowly. And then eventually you'd get it to level 2. So then it makes you run a bit easier if you find that weapon because it's slightly better.
It sounds like it's more skill based.
But it was way more skill, but also luck based. You could get a really hard roll and you just have no chance of winning. Or you could get some really easy, good ones, and then you could level your character up early enough so that you could be better later.
Yeah.
It was more luck based than anything.
So I really wanted to play it, but the roguelike elements put me off.
Yeah. Well, this one, I think they've said it's still going to be a roguelike. It's still all that. However, they're focusing more on permanent upgrades.
This is what I've heard, yeah.
And I'm hoping that's enough to fix all the problems I had.
I'd be very interested in that if that's the case. Because he even says in the trailer when he gets up, he's like, I keep dying, but I'm getting stronger every time.
Yeah.
So, looks cool.
Yeah. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, definitely. So, with all the games out of the way, what do you actually think of the state of play as a whole?
I thought it was fine.
It seemed like a lot to jam in 40 minutes.
Yeah, there was a lot there. If you look at it on the whole, there was a lot there. My problem with it, especially with it being a PlayStation state of play, there wasn't that many PlayStation games.
I think they should have come out and said this is going to be a third-party state of play.
I think so too.
Because
like how Nintendo does a third-party partners direct.
Yes.
So my big problem with it is when you contrast it with Xboxes recently. And I think Xbox has done a really, really good job with their showcases recently by letting you know pretty much exactly what you're going to see with a few surprises. It's a few games and they dive really deep into them. And then you get to the end of it and you think, all of those games are coming to Game Pass. So all of them look great. I wanted to play them all. And whoa, I'm going to get to.
And I will be able to, yeah.
With this, none of them were announced anyway as being, this is what's going to PlayStation Plus. So although I was looking at them all thinking, oh, that looks cool, I've got to the end of it thinking, I'm not going to play any of them. Yeah. Because I don't like the look of them enough, because I don't have that much time to play or that much money to spend on all these things.
At full price, at least.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to get to any of them other than the ones I already knew I was going to, like Split Fiction.
Yes.
And I'll probably give Sauros a go, depending on how it lands. But again, maybe on PlayStation Plus. So
you might wait a year or two.
I think if you contrast it directly with Xboxes, I think Xboxes have nailed their showcases recently, and Sony just seem to disappoint every time. They've got so many games, so many PlayStation first-party games that we know they're working on, and they're just not giving us anything.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have showed us a bit more of Ghost. Maybe give us...
Yeah. There's got to be gameplay available. There's got to be... Surely can do something just to get you a bit more hyped. But there's just kind of nothing. And it's getting like grating now, because every time I'm like, oh, another showcase or another state of play, can't wait. And then you watch it, you get to the end of it, and you're disappointed again.
Well, this is kind of like this is what's coming out this year.
Yeah.
Or at least start of the year.
Yeah. Well, no, because Sauros I don't think has been announced.
That's 2026, yeah. Should have said before, sorry. I didn't think that the state of play was that bad. Like a lot of online chatter has been, that was terrible. But I think it showed a lot of cool new games coming up, but they're all third-party games.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't terrible. Yeah. But I think the fact that it was fine is kind of a knock against it because it's always,
it's
every time it's been fine.
Yeah.
It's been fine for the past, and it's been more than 3 years because I've been in my house 4 years this year.
Yeah.
And that state of play with Wolverine and God of War I wasn't in my house.
Wow.
I remember where I watched it. So it's been over 3 years since that showcase, and I don't think we've had a good one since then.
Yeah.
So it's just fine after fine after fine.
Did they not have one for Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West?
State of play, yeah, but I'm not mega into those anyway.
To be fair, when they showed that, I think they showed loads of good games with it as well.
Maybe.
Like,
but the last amazing one I can think of was that 3 years ago. The last
is that just
amazing,
because that's the game you cared about?
no, because there was loads of other great games and loads of other good first-party PlayStation games. The last amazing Xbox one was the last one. The last amazing overall one was
Gamescom?
no, Game of the Year Awards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it just kind of feels like we've had two great ones by other people, and then Sony's next one. But why wasn't Intergalactic saved for this? You know what I mean? That showcase would still have been incredible without it. And all it needs is one banger PlayStation thing, and it changes the narrative
seems
completely.
like they're not too bothered about putting it in the state of play because they're putting a lot of their bangers in Game of the Year, Summer Games.
I don't get it.
It might be the need to compete with the other developers at those showcases, whereas they don't need to compete with themselves.
Yeah,
True.
I suppose,
True,
but
true.
they kind of are competing because people like me are directly comparing it to Xbox's last one.
Well, yeah.
So
I mean, there was a lot more games than the Xbox One shown, but Xbox had the deep dives into each of the games.
Yeah. At least there was some deep dives after this, but Tides of Annihilation, why didn't it come up saying,
Watch this.
watch this afterwards, for a deep dive?
Yeah, very true.
But they didn't.
And we're getting a Borderlands 4 one from PlayStation.
Yeah, so
Whole
the
thing.
next state of play is going to be a whole Borderlands 4 one. It's like,
Which is great for people who love Borderlands, but for PlayStation fans,
yeah,
a bit odd.
yeah, it's just,
Considering that's coming out everywhere.
yeah, I don't know. It was fine.
Yeah, I think there was some really good games. That Cyrus looks really good.
Yeah, CG trailer.
But CJ, yeah, I want to see gameplay.
Yeah. What about you, Ben?
I agree with you completely. It's not enough.
Yeah,
That's the outliner. Because
more.
at this stage, surely
Surely
they should be trying to compete.
We don't even need more games, more on the games. I would have been happier if there was less games, but we heard or saw more about those games.
Yeah.
Even if they were all third party, even if it was the same games we saw today, whenever it was, but they took maybe 5 of them out and just deep dived into the remaining ones, I think it would have been way better.
If you had the Tides of Annihilation deep dive in the state.
It didn't even need to be the whole deep dive.
Yeah.
Could have just been some of it. But
what about you, Joe?
There's only one game I wanted to hear news about, and I didn't hear any news about it. And it was Intergalactic.
yeah, well, we won't hear anything about that, I don't think, this year.
I don't think so
To be
either.
honest,
Not even like what kind of combat it might have or what kind of travel options you might have. Can you change your ship?
Well,
Can you do anything like that?
look at it this
Is
way.
there customization?
Last time we heard about Wolverine was 3 years ago.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah, it could be.
That might be a
while.
dead game at this point.
Yeah, it could be. It'll be a while, I think.
Yeah.
So,
There was also
Or Blade. I'd like to hear about Blade, but that's on an Xbox
that's
one, isn't
Xbox,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
But true, same.
Cool.
So, that's it. That's
It
the
is.
episode. It's been quite a long one, but
It
it's
has.
one.
Very
It's always a good
detailed.
one. So, yeah. Well, thanks for everyone who's stuck around with us to the end, to the over 2 hour mark. Unless
Yeah.
it gets cut down below 2 hours, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, yeah, thanks for joining us. We've been Gaming Garnish. Until next time.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.